Gosh, did I do that to our rabbi?
Yes, you did.
Oh, you're having a lovely conversation with Councilwoman Seaman. Oh my goodness, I think, please take care of me. I didn't mean that, dear Lord. Okay, the June 7th, 2023 meeting of the City Council is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. Pardon me, these proceedings are being video recorded as well as presented live on KCLV, Cable Channel 2. You may also watch this meeting live on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, on the Go Vegas app. The City Council meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, may be viewed on the internet at www.kclv.tv/live. These proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 10 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m., also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 5 p.m. This building is protected by state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler systems. If alarms should activate during our meeting today, please evacuate using the exit at the back of the chambers, go out to the mezzanine, proceed out the double doors to the terrace, and go down the back staircase. For anyone who has difficulty with stairs, please check with one of our marshals or fire officials for assistance. Once outside, please assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall at Lewis and First Streets. Employees wearing safety vests or city marshals will inform you when it's safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related items on the agenda, citizen participation and public hearing items, we have available a speaker card which you may complete and submit to our city clerk up front. Cards are available in the clerk's office or at the rear of these chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under public comment, citizen participation, or specified public hearing items. If anyone's present today who has need for hearing impaired equipment, please also see our city clerk staff up front. And if you parked in the parking garage across the street, a self-validation machine is located in the foyer between the council chambers and the security desk you walk through to enter our chambers. You must have your ticket with you to use the machine. However, if you do not, please see security personnel when exiting for a validation coupon. Before we proceed with the agenda, would everyone please rise for the invocation given this morning by Rabbi Yitzwai, Young Israel Aish of Las Vegas, and remain standing for the pledge. And I'm sorry, Rabbi.
Pleasure. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. We know that the verse, love your neighbor as yourself, is perhaps one of the most famous verses in the entire Bible, in the Torah. It's in Leviticus chapter 19, and it may come as no surprise the Jews have been arguing about what does this mean about for 3,000 years. We argue about a lot of things. We discuss it. And so what does it mean to love your neighbor as yourself? So on one hand, we say, listen, love is an emotion that is acquired when we appreciate the virtues in others. And how can anyone command another to have an emotion, even God? So one approach is that when we do actions that induce love between others, that's really what the commandment is all about. So when you bring flowers to your spouse, or you greet someone with a smile, or you help someone through with a project doing something, those are not just nice things to do. Those are, you're not just being a great guy. What you're doing is you're fulfilling a divine commandment to do actions that bring love and peace and harmony into the world. So it's a very special thing to note that when you do an action, you can actually raise your level of consciousness to be a spiritual person. Another angle of that is know that when we say love your neighbor as yourself, that's exactly what it means. It means feel in your heart how much you love everyone in the room. And now I'm a little bit of an experienced rabbi. When I tell younger rabbis, and they're about to get up to speak, I say, before you speak, look around and remind yourself how much you love everybody you're speaking to. Because just as King Solomon says in Proverbs, that a face reflects upon itself when it looks into a still pond, so does the heart of one man to another. When we walk through the door at the end of the day, or you walk into your office, and you remind yourself before you walk in I really do value these people, and I really love them for many reasons, so they will accept your words, and they will feel the love back as well. And perhaps for this council, one of the most important things mentioned in our Jewish tradition is a story told thousands of years ago when someone went up to the great Rabbi Hillel and said, "Teach me all of life's wisdom while standing on one foot." And Hillel stood on one foot, and he said, "Whatever is detestable to you, don't do to anybody else. The rest is commentary, now go learn." Okay? That's it. A big part of life is just staying out of the way and allowing people to do what they need to do in order to make the world a better place. And we do that, not only are we being wonderful people, but we are fulfilling the divine command. So with that note, please join me in blessing this council, all the people here, that we should continue to do great work, to do acts of kindness for ourselves, kindness for each other, and to feel a sense of love and camaraderie that will make our city even greater than it has been before. And let us say amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yes. You didn't get the shoes though.
And Dan and Jennifer have on pink. Yeah.
Still good.
We're gonna go for coffee and do more.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
See you again.
How about you? You have my space? No, I'm just kidding. Who's doing the thing today? Then you're right there.
Wow, we have a new marshal over here, Marshall Luby. Please welcome a Green Valley graduate. We do remember the days at Green Valley when it opened. Principal Carol, I think it was, who came from Chaparral. Boy, you've got a good education. Welcome to the force, the big force. Okay. All right, we're all here. I want you to notice. Now, this side is all decked out beautiful with lovely sequins and black and grays. No. We'll get to the two of you after. Then the three of us are your springtime. Yes? Good. Summer? Okay, yes, or fall. Okay, and you can go both ways here. And then our gentleman, lovely tie, nice pinning, very handsome, wonderful.
Thank you, Mayor. God, nice to know.
Yes. They get plenty of stroking at home, tell me. All right, so this is our ceremonial portion of our agenda. And boy, do I have nothing to do here. Lucky Councilwoman Bruni, it's all yours to give us a start.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. Today, we are excited to shine light on the exceptional, hardworking people in our community who choose to give back and lift up those around them. And I think the rabbi's comments were very appropriate for the person we're going to celebrate today. Michelle Hardy Rodriguez, and I would love to have you come up, Michelle, is one of those people. And it is an honor for us to share some of her story, highlight her courage, and celebrate her impact in our community, which extends well beyond Ward 6. On June 5th, 2013, 10 years and one day ago, Michelle was in a horrific accident on the Las Vegas I-15 highway that caused her to suffer third-degree burns to her upper extremities and entire right arm. She spent 2 long, arduous weeks at the UMC burn unit, where she underwent multiple surgeries. Upon her release from the hospital, she endured in-home nursing for 6 months, during which time her spiritual, emotional, and physical well-being was dramatically affected. Having overcome those challenges, Michelle realized how important it was to have support and encouragement for the physical changes and mental health challenges one experiences after these traumatic episodes. Michelle's own experience made her realize that our community often lacks these types of support, which are so critical to a speedy and comprehensive recovery. Michelle knew that bringing her story and those of others to light was a powerful first step in developing a sense of community and strengthening the overall healing process. As a result, she created My Scars Are Beautiful in 2014, a nonprofit that offers different types of supports, including a website that collects and shares stories of those who have also suffered traumatic experiences, as well as trauma-informed aftercare programs and services such as support groups, art therapy, and financial assistance for uninsured medical costs to help overcome the emotional and physical challenges of traumatic experiences. Michelle has helped over 100 individuals in our community. As a professional realtor, she also gives back to her nonprofit through her professional success. Through My Scars Are Beautiful, Michelle ensures that people know that they're not alone and don't have to work through trauma alone. And her story of turning her own pain into light for others and our community is an inspiration for all of us. Please join me in celebrating Michelle Hardy Rodriguez as our Citizen of the Month. We've got an award. Thank you so much. I'm going to read a proclamation and invite you to say a few words. So the proclamation reads, whereas promoting increased access to mental health and support for the community is necessary to sustain a first-class city and a vibrant community, and whereas Michelle Hardy Rodriguez, after enduring many months of recovery from severe burns and surgeries, founded My Scars Are Beautiful on September 10th, 2014, and whereas due to her leadership and efforts, hundreds of people have shared their stories about traumatic events, utilizing the range of services and community building opportunities offered by My Scars Are Beautiful. And whereas Michelle Hardy Rodriguez has found a sense of purpose and pride in being able to positively impact the lives of others, and whereas Michelle Hardy Rodriguez seeks out ways to serve and help our community through both her professional endeavors and her nonprofit, and whereas due to the continuum of physical and emotional support provided by My Scars Are Beautiful, the quality of life in our city has grown exponentially, and Michelle Hardy Rodriguez has left a lasting and meaningful impact on the Las Vegas community. And therefore, we, the mayor, and the members of the Las Vegas City Council do hereby proclaim June 7th, 2023 as Michelle Hardy Rodriguez Day.
Oh my goodness, thank you so very much. Good morning to you all. Glory to God. It is truly a blessing to be here amongst all of you today. Thank you so much, Nancy Brune of Ward 6, and to all of you in the city of Las Vegas. I am truly honored and privileged to be here. Providing trauma and real estate resources to the community truly holds near and dear to my heart. Being a native of Las Vegas, I've seen the tremendous growth that our city is offering and everything that our city is growing to be. I am truly proud to call Las Vegas my home. As a child, I remember helping my mom, that beautiful lady sitting right over there. I used to help her renovate homes all throughout the valley, and little did I know the impact that was going to have on me to become a realtor and help others in the community in their home journey. Also, as a survivor of a near-fatal car accident, as you heard, I suffered 3rd and 4th degree burns to my body, and little did I know at that time that God was going to turn that situation around and use me to help others in creating the nonprofit My Scars Are Beautiful. So I not only accept this award for myself, but I accept it on behalf of everyone that I have served in the community. Without them, I wouldn't have the tenacity and the strength to keep going, even on the hardest of days when I've wanted to give up. And I thank you, all of you, for being here, all my family and friends and colleagues, for your support. It truly means the world to me. God bless you all, and thank you so much again, Nancy and City of Las Vegas.
Beautiful. How about a picture we can go in front here?
Okay.
Okay. Let's,
We'd love to have Michelle's family and friends come up and join her for the photos.
okay, so let's go in front here if we can. Do we need to move this, or it's okay where it is? We're okay? Okay, so let's go over here in front, Councilwoman. Oh, okay. Wait. Can we have the mic? All right, I asked who's who here, so here we go.
So this is all my friends, family, and colleagues. This is my beautiful mom, who I was pointing out earlier. This is Twee, my client. This is my best friend, Virtue. Mackenzie, my receptionist at Realty One Group office, and my broker, Jeff Wallenfang. And my... Oh, Jeff. Jeff. Yes,
Okay.
that's my broker.
Okay.
Broker Jeff. And then this is my Uncle Mark. No, right here. Uncle Mark. This is Chris, my best friend as well. Yes.
Okay, so tell us what to do and how to go. I'll take that away from you. Are we all right? Am I in between? Okay. Okay. This way, all of us? Good? Okay. She's amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi. Okay, so, wow, it's wonderful what you can do in life, especially, when you have hardships that attack for some reason, how it makes you stronger, better, and wakes you up sort of, wow, what can I do and make an impact, or at least try. So it's awesome. So I can't see, but knowing you've got a booklet there, I guess our second celebration, we'll give this to Councilman Creer.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. We're going to do something just a little bit different. We have two sort of ceremonies we're going to try to get in our time period. We're going to celebrate Pride Month this month, and also we're going to celebrate Juneteenth. And so I'm just going to get right to it because we have a lot to cover. So good morning. Proud to stand before you with the mayors, members of Las Vegas City Council, recognize extraordinary work and unwavering dedication of a statewide organization, the Human Rights Campaign, also known for many of us as HRC. We're here to celebrate the central milestones in the journey towards equality, inclusivity during the Pride Month. And I want to ask our friend and our former colleague who worked at the City of Las Vegas with us, Carl Catarata, who's the Nevada State Director, up here to the podium. Come on up here, Carl. The City of Las Vegas takes immense pride in our vibrant and diverse community. Our city strives to be a shining beacon where people from all walks of life can find solace, acceptance, and a sense of belonging. The HRC plays an instrumental role in forging a path towards a more inclusive and equitable Las Vegas. I would also like to point out that HRC's tireless efforts and steadfast commitment has consistently advocated for the rights of the LGBTQ+ community, working towards eradicating discrimination, promoting equal opportunities, and fostering an environment of acceptance and understanding. Their work extends far beyond just the legal and policy realms. The HRC has been at the forefront of fostering dialogue, raising awareness and education, communities on the importance of equality, respect, dignity for all individuals, irrespective of their sexual orientation or gender identity. Through their groundbreaking research, public campaigns, and community initiatives, the HRC has not only been a voice for the LGBTQ+ community, but also a catalyst for change across the entire nation. By engaging with policymakers, supporting pro-equality candidates, and advocating for inclusive policies, they have paved the way for significant progress in the LGBTQ+ rights. Right here in Las Vegas, we have scored a perfect 100 out of 100 on our Municipality Equality Index. The national benchmarking tool that scores municipalities across the country. HRC's nonprofit fosters competition within the marketplace, from its Corporate Equality Index to its Healthcare Equality Index. These benchmarks help organizations compete to be the best they can be to serve the LGBTQ+ people. We must also acknowledge the HRC's unwavering commitment to transgender rights. Through their Transgender Justice Initiative and their continued efforts to protect transgender individuals from discrimination, the HRC has been a guiding force in advocating for the rights, safety, and dignity of our transgender community members. As we celebrate Pride Month, let us remember that our journey towards true equality is far from over. It is crucial that we continue to support organizations like HRC and collaborate to create a future where every individual can live without fear of discrimination, where love and acceptance triumph over hate and prejudice. And so I want to turn it over to my friend Carl, tell us a little bit more about what's going on. Congratulations to you. Give us a couple of words.
Thank you, Councilman. Appreciate it. Thank you. Well, good morning, Mayor and members of the Las Vegas City Council. How's everyone doing today? Great. Good? Good. First of all, it has been a while. Thank you so much, Councilman. First, happy Pride. My name is Carl Catarata, the Nevada State Director over the Human Rights Campaign in Nevada. On behalf of the Human Rights Campaign in Nevada, we say to you, happy Pride, happy Juneteenth, and thank you so much for joining us in this special celebration. The Human Rights Campaign is America's oldest and largest LGBTQ-serving civil rights organization since the 1980s. We empower our 3 million members, specifically approximately 700,000 LGBTQ supporters across the state of Nevada, to end discrimination against LGBTQ people. The Human Rights Campaign in Nevada works closely with Las Vegas corporations, business leaders, nonprofit leaders, and municipalities to get the job done for LGBTQ people. Through our Corporate Equality Index, which the councilman had said, we measure Las Vegas-based companies on corporate policies and benefits pertinent to LGBTQ employees. Notably, for our cities, like our Municipality Equality Index, one of our most rigorous benchmarking tools specifically examines how inclusive city laws and policies are for LGBTQ people and their employees. Cities are ranked and based on non-discrimination laws, and the city of Las Vegas continues to help Nevada with the perfect 100 out of 100 on the Municipality Equality Index. So this is something, Mayor and Councilman, that you can all be proud of this Pride Month. Let's give a round of applause. It's good. The city is doing great work. The city is doing great work to supporting LGBTQ people, and that's something that we need to recognize year in, year out. Our work spans to putting our hands in the ground and changing hearts and minds. And by working with our local school districts, nonprofits, teachers, and thought leaders, you name it, we are continuing our work, as Councilman Creer had mentioned, ensuring to make sure that Las Vegas is a place where everyone can live, work, and play. But, as we celebrate today, I want to note that across the city, we cannot do this work alone. I am joined by community leaders today who are doing impactful work, and I want all of you to join me up here to also be recognized. Let's give a round of applause for the following groups: Silver State Equality, Make the Road, Brothers with Purpose, the LGBTQ Center of Southern Nevada, Sullen Associates, House of Vegas Pride, our HRC volunteers, and even our members who work in the city manager's office. Please take this moment to join me up here right now. We know that we cannot do this work alone when it comes to changing hearts and minds across the city. We all know this. We know that teamwork makes the dream work. Las Vegas Pride, where are you at? Come over here. Come join the love. So while America celebrates Pride Month with festivals and parades this summer, and Las Vegas celebrates this upcoming October when the weather is much more cooler, we are truly honored and thrilled that the City of Las Vegas for this proclamation recognizing Pride Month. It means so much to us and the LGBTQ community to have this level of support, because Pride Month is not just a rainbow. It reflects on the progress, resilience, and strength our community members have made and the work that lies ahead. Pride is about celebrating joy. It's about celebrating joy despite the obstacles and barriers. It's a time where our community members remembers that through the pain, there is purpose, and through struggle, there is strength. See how I was quick to jump to that? I was really excited for that strength part. On Pride Month, at a time where there is a serious threat to the health and safety of millions of LGBTQ people across the country, I truly commend the City of Las Vegas for stepping up and being a strong ally in our work. It's important that this is not just about LGBTQ individuals, but creating a community that values diversity and inclusion, a society where people are treated with the same values of our city, kind, committed, and smart. So stepping up, speaking as an ally are powerful tools to support LGBTQ people. Often, it's easier said than done. But on this Pride Month, let us continue to also bring our friends, our colleagues, our allies, left and right, to make fundamental fairness and equality a reality in this country. So this proclamation today serves as a powerful reminder that we're not alone in this fight, and we have powerful friends, mayor, council members, in our corner. Thank you to the City of Las Vegas for leading the charge on this important work. We're really looking forward to working together. Again, happy Pride Month, and I'll turn it back to Councilman Creer.
Thank you. We've had two great speeches today, haven't we? My goodness. As mentioned, we do have a proclamation that we're going to present to you, and I am going to read a portion of it. Whereas we commend the Human Rights Campaign of Nevada for its tireless efforts to advance equality and justice for all, and we pledge to continue working together to create a more inclusive and welcoming community for all residents of Las Vegas. And now, whereas we support the Human Rights Campaign of Nevada and its mission to promote and protect the human rights of all individuals in our state. And now, therefore, we, the mayor and members of the Las Vegas City Council, do here proudly proclaim June 7, 2023, Human Rights Campaign of Nevada Day in the city of Las Vegas. Congratulations. Yeah. And we're going to take a quick picture, and then I'm going to come right back.
We can push it.
Carl, you remember doing it?
Yeah. I remember these days. Yes, sir, I do.
See, working for councilman never ends. Everybody think we don't do nothing around here.
All done,
Yeah. Hey, behind you. Excuse me? Right behind you. All right.
Thank you, Councilman.
Okay, we have one more. Real quick. And everybody thinks I don't do anything around here. We have one more. As we remember, we are celebrating Juneteenth this month, which is a celebration. We are having a big festival on Saturday, June 17th, from 4 to 9 p.m. It's a free event. It's going to take place at the World Market Center. This is in conjunction with Rainbow Dreams Academy Juneteenth. But we also have someone special today. I'm going to bring up and give a couple minutes to talk a little bit about Juneteenth. Ms. Dee Evans, who heads up the national organization that is responsible for getting national holiday. She's also responsible for just recently getting passed a state holiday in the legislature. It's at the governor's office now for signature from her work with Assemblywoman Claire. We appreciate all of her work. And Dee, I want to bring you up for a minute and tell us a little bit more about what you're doing, a little bit more about Juneteenth. We were here the other day. We raised the Juneteenth flag here at City Hall just the other day. We also have a flagpole now at our Legacy Park, which also has the Juneteenth flag flying high as of today. Thank you. Hey, Dee.
Hello. Good morning. Thank you all for your support of Juneteenth. Thank you for everyone who brought me up here today. And Mayor, I hope that you can join us. We have an event that starts at 12 o'clock on the 17th, so if you can make it to our event, we will be at the West Las Vegas Library at that time. So if you can, we'll be at the theater, and then it goes into Diane's program. There is no one way to celebrate Juneteenth. Very quickly, Juneteenth, if you're not aware, is recognized as June 19th, 1865, when General Order Number 3 was posted on the door of the Little Colored Church, which is now known as Reedy Chapel in Galveston, Texas. They left Fort Comfort, Virginia, May 25th, 1865, on their way to Texas-Mexico border to go after Maximilian. They ran into a storm. They were on a ship. They came in for food and water and found that there were still enslaved people. And the soldiers said, if you don't do something before we leave, we'll do something. So do not believe that we were just freed. There were 10,000 United States colored troops on those ships in addition to other races and cultures. And Juneteenth is a sign of unity. We are all coming together, and we're at the education stage now. We've had the 2 state bills here in Nevada. We've got the national bill that we got in 2021, and we go forward. We hope you join us. As I say, we will be at the West Las Vegas Library Theater on the 17th from 12 until 6, which also will include, in addition to a jazz program, the Miss Nevada Juneteenth Scholarship Program. So if you can join us, I invite you to come and help us celebrate our wave of freedom as we went across the country and brought the recognition that while the 4th of July freed the people, or rather 4th of July freed the country from the British, Juneteenth frees the people from enslavement. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dee. We appreciate it. So Saturday, June 17th, West Las Vegas Library, also at World Market Center. It's a full day, actually a full month of celebration for Juneteenth. So congratulations, Dee, and thank you very much. Let's get a quick picture.
We're getting closer. Can we push this back? Okay.
We have representatives of all 50 states and the District of Columbia.
However, you are a very powerful person.
Straightness.
No. Come forward, just right here. That's great.
How to be straight.
Are you okay? Where are you in the program?
Congratulations.
Wonderful. I will, as long as it wasn't 12 midnights. No 12 midnight for this old lady. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Wow. Yeah, right? Madam Clerk, are we okay to go forward? Okay, we will move now into the formality of our agenda. So, agenda item 7 is where we start? Yep. Yes. Okay. This is our first public comment, and the public comment during this portion of the agenda must be related to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to that agenda and those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card or who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium, state your name for the record. It's your opportunity to address council, but the council is not able to respond or engage in dialogue. There is another opportunity at the end of our council meeting for a longer period of time, but in this first agendized time, we will set it for 1 minute, so please come forward. We have a couple of cards here. and you may choose here or at the end of the meeting unless it is specified a public hearing item. One is from Michael Midrich and one is from Mary Bacon, but you can wait, as I said, and we also have Andrew Craner. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, Council, Daniel Braisted, B-R-A-I-S-T-E-D. I'm commenting on, I guess, number 6. I'm troubled with all this recognition and Pride Month and all that stuff, but that's 30 days of Pride Month. And then we have Black History Month, and that's another month. And yet, what happened yesterday, about 72 years ago? D-Day. And there's no mention of past lives, of the 400 Union soldiers that died during the Civil War to free the slaves. We just throw them all out. I don't think that's right.
Okay. Thank you. And again, keep in mind, it has to be an agendized item unless you wait to the end or to...
I was just going to say that, just to let you know I was going to speak at the end. So since you called my name, that's why.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no one else, we will go ahead and then move on to agenda item. Oh, we do. Okay.
Good morning, Mayor, Council people. My name is Mary Bacon. I'm an attorney at Spencer Fain. I came to speak in support of item 38, which is open posting the city attorney position. As you know, that position has been held by a man for over 100 years, and I was advocating to open post it to ensure a transparent process and allow the opportunity for other people, including women, to apply for the position. My understanding is the 2 internal candidates that have expressed interest are both male. So I just wanted to come and ask, please open post the position. It'll give the most number of qualified candidates the opportunity to apply for the position and would certainly be best for the city of Las Vegas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bacon, please. Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to the distinguished mayor of the city of Las Vegas and all the commissioners or city council people. My name is William McCurdy I. I am a pastor of the Progressive Church of God in Christ. I would like to not use my position as the park commissioner for the city of Las Vegas, what I'm about to speak on. No, I'm not here to represent the county commissioner, William McCurdy II. I'm here as a citizen of the city of Las Vegas that is concerned. I became an employee of the city of Las Vegas in 1969 when Orrin Gregson was the mayor, and also I have had the opportunity to work in the city manager's office under Art Release when he was city manager. And so I'm very concerned about who becomes the next city manager for the city of Las Vegas. And I'm going to tell you all straight up, I've talked to many commissioners as I possibly could, but I'm hoping that Dr. Lisa Hibbler, Morris Hibbler, be selected when it comes time to become the city manager. And because, like I said, we have had the opportunity to have different ethnic groups serve, and she has been in this place when I saw her working in the recreation department over
If you want to
Doolittle.
come back at the end, Mr. McCurdy, but we thank you, and you have been part of the family for a long, long time. Thank you. Anyone else? And I think you can see the clock from your side, but I'm not sure. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Russ Martin. I see a lot of people here doing positive things, but I have to bring negative news.
And can you be sure, can we start him again because I don't want to use up his time. Can you make sure you pull the microphone closer to you because for some of us who are longer of tooth here, we need to hear easily.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Goodman. When I begin, because I'm not good at this and I'm really
remember,
nervous.
you have 1 minute, so.
Huh?
You have 1 minute unless you come back at the end, which we would welcome you where you'll have 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll come back and I didn't know I just came in, so I'll come back and so I can do 3 minutes.
I would, at the end, yes, and that would be, I don't know how long the agenda, but You can tune us in on Channel 2, fabulous Channel 2, KCLV, and see as we're getting through the numbered items, we end up with probably agenda item 38 and 39 might take a little bit longer.
Okay.
So once we're into those, you might then get yourself back
All
to
right.
chambers.
Thank you very much, Ms. Goodman.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? I feel I dodged a bullet there when you said you have bad news.
Till the end.
No, I'm kidding. It's just, forget it. My husband tells me I'm mentally ill, and so he may be right. Okay, so, all right, anything beyond this? Anyone else? Okay, so now we will go on to agenda item 8, yes? Okay, business items for possible action. Any items from the 9:30 session that the council staff and/or applicant wish to be stricken, table, withdrawn, held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem?
Madam Mayor, I don't have anything.
Wow, we're blessed here. Okay, agenda item 9 for possible action to approve the final minutes by reference to the May 3rd, 2023 regular city council meeting. Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Madam Mayor, so moved.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve the minutes. Please vote. Once the little circle is up, let's hear an aye.
Aye.
Anybody dare oppose? No. Unanimous. Thank you very much. We'll move on to 10. Items 10 through 37 on the consent agenda, considered to be routine, recommended for approval by the departments, may be enacted in one motion. A correction should be made to show item 16 as both wards 3 and 5. And note that the record should reflect my abstention on item 11 because it pertains to the marijuana-related business. One of my sons involved in the industry. I'll be voting on all other items, and Mayor Pro Tem may have a motion for the consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, move to approve the consent agenda.
Please vote. And somebody better go back and get Mr. Harris, unless he stayed. I thought we would be here for a long time.
It's not coming up. You'll need more.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? No. Motion carries. Thank you.
Oh, here it is. It's up. It's on the front. Sure.
So that everybody.
Oh, do you want us to vote?
Do you want us to, well, mine just says waiting. I don't know about anybody else. Oh, you got a circle.
I got it.
We got it.
Yay for humanity. There we are. Okay. Well, of course, mine won't register.
I did not give it enough kudos this morning.
Okay, well, you got the vote,
We got
so,
it.
right?
We got it.
Okay, so let's have a lecture. All right, so we're on to agenda item 38, discussion for possible action regarding the various processes for the recruitment and/or appointment of a city attorney, including possible authorization to the Human Resources Director to execute a contract with an executive search firm not to exceed $50,000 from the general fund, and this is in reference to all wards. And I think what I'm going to ask first, I think I'm going to make my comments before yours because we have to really concentrate on this. For those of you who are here in the audience or who are online, this is a very unusual time for us, both our city attorney and our city manager, and many in our senior administrative staff have indicated after many years of devoted service and great success that it is time to retire. And simultaneously, both our city attorney and our city manager have indicated the same. Now, what's unusual beyond this is, as you would know, this is 2023. It was the time for a re-election in wards 1, 3, and 5, and the mayorship. However, the legislature has changed, and the county clerk, we have now had an extra year of service granted, which on the soft side I love because Oscar had 12 years, I got 13, which yay for the women. But on the serious side, it means that everyone that's on that cycle, to my right is Councilwoman Diaz and Mayor Pro Tem Knudsen, and Ward 5 with Councilman Creer. We are on a cycle for re-election. Except for me, I'm termed out. And so, in addition to seeking a new attorney and a new individual to select into that position, be it from within, and you're going to hear about the process. This is a very, very significant time. And not that any election isn't as significant, but in particular, the historical memory of our community. We have Councilman Creer, who has announced he is hopeful of seeking the position as mayor. We have Councilwoman Seaman, who is also seeking the position as mayor. I don't blame everybody for seeking this position. It's the best there is. And yet Councilwoman Seaman has been reelected. Councilman Creer, however, because he's on the cycle for re-election, vacates Ward 5 seat. We have joining us this year, as you all know, our wonderful new councilwomen, Councilwoman Bruni and Councilwoman Polensky, joining our body, and while they have served in government for the state, they're new to the city. So as we go forward with this process, part of the evaluation by the council is the continuum of city business, whatever that would be, and then moving forward into it. So this particular time is most unusual as everything comes together with newness, opportunity, or the historical memory of the city, its purpose, and what we've accomplished these years, and what we look forward to. So I want to be very, very sure, I think what I'd like to do at this point, because we will have discussion, you're privy to it, this is not something we're doing in closed doors, we're doing it transparently, as we have always done at council. So at this point, I think I've said enough. You'll all be asleep from my voice if I don't turn it over to Mr. Zamora, who is our head of our human resources. And Morgan, bless you. Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor, Council members. For the record, Vince Zamora, Human Resources Director. As the Mayor read into the record item 38, I'd like to go into a little bit more detail relative to the options that are available to you. So the first option is that there would be an open recruitment, which would include both internal and external candidates. As a subset of that process, you would direct me or decide as to whether you would like to engage an executive search firm to manage the interview process, or direct human resources to manage the interview process. If an executive search firm is selected, we would evaluate the firm best suited for this search, and there would be a fee associated that human resources would negotiate not to exceed $50,000. And then item number 2, or option number 2, would be an internal recruitment only managed by human resources, which we would be prepared and qualified to do. Or there would be a selection of an individual today. So those 3 options are available to you, and we can go ahead and open that for discussion at this point in time. I can provide some additional information relative to some timelines that we could...
I'd like you to do that, I think, and if you could repeat it a couple of times and make it very clear, because I think the options, again, being what you have already stated, how long does each of those take, and when can it really be ascertained? Because we do have people retiring, and they may be dependent, it may change their schedule depending upon what the council decides to do.
Okay, so again, we can provide additional information relative to the estimated timelines, and I'm going to emphasize the word estimated just because we want to make sure that your schedules are going to coincide with those estimated timelines. So our best estimates are for option number 1, an open recruitment with an executive search firm. We believe that from
And
negotiation...
could I interrupt you there?
Yes.
I mean, the clarity of this transparency, everybody has to understand this. An open recruitment means extremely formal search.
That's correct.
Does it go internationally as well?
Typically what we would do is if we were to engage an executive search firm, it would be a national search.
National.
Yes, ma'am. So our best estimates relative to engaging an executive search firm for the open competitive recruitment, which would include both internal candidates and external candidates, we would, from negotiation of the contract of the successful search firm, could be from June 15th to August 7th, to where we would identify a successful candidate. June 15th to August 7th. We would need to negotiate the contract through purchasing for the executive search firm. We would need to go ahead and work with them to get them to understand what the positions and job descriptions entail, the development of a recruitment brochure, talk to them about who we would like, what the preferences are for the applicants, and then at that point in time we would go set the interview schedules, identify the candidates, and move through the process. So
Can you
again,
speak a little to the firms, and do we get input into what firms, if we went for a search, a professional full-out search across the country, how do you select from firms? If you could make some comments to that, and then do those firms come in front of us, or is that something that's administratively done?
I understand. Yes, we have used several search firms for executive recruitment positions. For example, when we most recently had the open fire chief position, we used a firm by the name of Bob Murray and Associates. And for the fire chief, we used a firm called Ralph Anderson and Associates. We've also used another firm called CPS. They all have gone through our open competitive process and are very familiar with contracting with finance. So all of these firms are public agency specialists, and they have a vast array of candidates and pools of candidates that they can contact. Plus, they're very experienced in terms of posting the jobs at various professional associations and websites to garner the largest opportunity for candidates.
And does our council have input to whom is selected?
In the past, we have made the recommendation to council, and we have identified the positive elements of the firm, and you have voted on those selections.
Okay.
Okay. So then option number one, which is the open recruitment. The subset of that is the open recruitment managed by Human Resources.
And what timeline are you looking at? What does it do to being finished with that? How many, on an average, if you have used these in the past, are we talking about 1,000 applicants that you have to clear? Or is it, and I know it has to do with the position, but as a general ballpark, and how long can that take to bring a selection back to us?
I'll start with the first question you asked. From posting date to identification of a successful candidate could be from July 12th to July 19th. I anticipate that there would be a large number of candidates that would apply for this position. We have a very expert team within Human Resources that has managed executive searches, and we believe we're capable and ready to handle this recruitment.
Okay.
So then, option number two, an internal recruitment only managed by Human Resources. From posting date to identification of a successful candidate could be from June 8th to as early as June 21st. And the candidate pool would be slightly limited because it would be for internal candidates only. Okay? And then finally, your third option would be a selection of an individual today. And if that were to occur, ratification could possibly occur on July 19th, which is our next scheduled council meeting.
I thought we had another option too, that I thought there was one that was a posting of open position that would be inclusive to anybody, not only internal.
Mayor, I need to make a correction. What I said was July 19th, and I didn't mean that. I meant June 21st.
Okay.
So ratification could occur as soon as June 21st.
With a selection today.
Yes, ma'am.
But can we back up? That was internal. We understand. I thought there was another possibility of posting the position or positions that's just open and without a screening corporation company, but that all is done. We just post it, that this position's open and anybody can apply and whatever.
That was the subset of option number one. That
A
HR
subset of that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it's two things. One, the formal search with a formal company. Then there's the open to anybody to apply, but that's handled internally by the city administrative staff
Human
and your
resources.
committees.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So any questions, processing, or anything before we go into the discussion? Any question? Yes, please, Councilwoman Diaz.
Mr. Zamora, how do we determine if we designate it to become HR department coordinated, whether it's open or internal, and HR is going to be at the helm? How do we determine how many candidates then will be considered for the position? Is that something that your department then pre-vets for us? So I just kind of wanted to get a handle for how many we may be potentially interviewing.
Right. If you directed HR to handle the open recruitment, then which would allow both external and internal candidates, we would post on our website. We would post it for a designated period of time that you would direct me to. We do have a recommendation. And then we would go ahead and post to various professional websites, and we would vet the candidates based upon the minimum qualifications for the position, as well as any preferences you may have. Naturally, it would make absolute sense for us to select a candidate who has public agency experience, formerly leading or currently leading a city attorney's office, and or having that level of experience in the past. And then we would go ahead and vet those candidates. We would share those candidates with you, and then we would go ahead and schedule interviews for those candidates with the council members in separate individual meetings. When we in other executive recruitments that involved council involvement, we cannot have more than 3 council members in the interview process. I would recommend we would do something like have 2 council members sitting in a room, 2 council members sitting in another room, 2 in another room, and we would move the candidates through that process and make it as efficient as possible for you to make your decision and not have to wait too long to see the candidates all at one time.
Is that the answer? And I don't know if it's appropriate, but knowing you've been through the transition of several city managers well, because of the longevity, the job descriptions are very different. But I know in the attorney's office, we had an attorney originally who had been here for many, many years, who had a deputy city attorney, and we moved through the process, which was affirmed here. But any comments about your knowledge in the past about going to the big search and the timeline, and you know your staff? I don't know if I'd like to hear from not councilman. That might be coming next. City manager, please.
Yes, for the record, Horsedon City Manager. So, Mayor, I would say that typically when any agency goes to the outside is for 2 reasons. One reason is because they don't have the expertise in-house. Maybe they don't have a good bench from which to select. Or secondly, if you were looking for a radical change, right? Sometimes organizations need change and they need to bring different leadership because of it. I don't see that the case in where we are today. I think the city attorney's office did a great job of mentoring folks on getting ready for that next step. So I think they got a strong bench to where promoting somebody from within would be a good choice, because we've got a lot of items right now that we're working on where we need that institutional knowledge to carry forward to make sure that it protects the cities from all our legal interests. So I don't see the value at this point of going now, just because we've got a strong bench in turn.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so, yeah, oh, please, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Jamora, I think it's relevant to talk about the process in a little bit more detail because this is the most important decision the council can make between the city attorney and city manager. It's one of our primary functions. And in the first round of when we selected Jorge, we went through a pretty extensive interview process, and you kind of highlighted it, but do you mind talking about how you developed that process and what it looked like from your end and the steps to it and how we got to eventually picking Mr. Cervantes?
Certainly. We started with a process, well, again, we are talking about city attorneys, so for this particular item, but I think the process would hold true for both agenda item 38 and 39. We would go ahead and post the position. Naturally, the applicants would have X number of days to apply for that particular position. Then there would be an evaluation or a vetting process to occur by the HR team if that was going to be your direction. We then would go ahead and share those successful candidates with the council members and forward their resumes and applications to you. We would schedule the interview dates that would best suit a turnaround that matches your schedule. Staff will be very flexible in terms of scheduling those dates with you. And then we would go ahead and go through the interview process. At that point in time, the individual council, you would go ahead and rank the candidates for your preferences. You would share those with me. I would then come back at a subsequent council meeting to share with you who you identified as the successful candidate. At that point in time, you would direct me to engage that successful candidate in a negotiation for their employment contract, which then would come to at a subsequent meeting for ratification. Did that get that for you?
Which could or could not be successful based on that negotiation.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I mean, it's not always a slam dunk. We would ask you to go to the selected candidate and work on a contract which may not fit the applicant.
The good thing about that process, Mayor, is that the candidates know what the salary ranges are. They typically know what the additional elements of the contract are because those are public documents. So the candidates come very well prepared if the successful candidate will be prepared to negotiate, and I think we do a good job of that.
And that is posted on the when we post the openings. That will be on there, what the salary range is, or no?
Yes, ma'am, it will be.
Okay, any other comments, questions before any discussion? Okay, well, here we are. So what's the appetite? Okay, please, yep.
Madam Mayor, I think about this all the time, and there's some amazing candidates internally, and that's, I think everybody up here would agree with that. I have gotten a lot of constituents from my ward that have been very clear that they expect an external process. I think my thought process is I don't want to do an external search through a search firm. That doesn't interest me in any way. I don't want to spend money on a search. I think we have amazing candidates internally. I think it's a good practice for a council, especially since most of us are new up here, to get in the habit of seeing what's out there and seeing what other thoughts and ideas, and that's really possible through that interview process. And I wanted you to comment on that interview process because it was really, really well done. I know that's city manager, and I can talk about that on that item, but the way you did it was really well done, where we got to talk with a bunch of very qualified people who shared their vision for the city, and then we got to individually rank them and then come to a consensus. And I thought that was really well done. I think a very short time period, because I think we're kind of in a hurry, given the timelines given to us by Mr. Scott.
July 12th to July 19th,
Yeah. So I would be open for the time frame for it to be open, but I think it's helpful to at least give our internal candidates that chance to talk about their vision in a formal process. And I think it's helpful to have external people talk about what they think the city is, and that gives us a well-rounded thought process as we go into deliberating who the next city attorney is. So I know what kind of a motion I would make, but I don't want to do that before anybody else has a chance to talk.
Okay. Yes, Councilwoman Diaz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I agree with Mayor Pro Tem that we do have a lot of talented individuals, but ever since I arrived on this council, we've been talking about the silver tsunami that's about to hit the city. So we can't neglect the fact that we do have folks that will be coming soon to retirement age, and we need to be very well prepared. We need to start being very well versed as to who may be potentially in that job market. So if we do have the talent internally, great. But if we can compare right now and use this process to make us aware of individuals that we may become interested down the road, I think it's a win-win, because we will acknowledge what we have in-house, and then we will potentially identify talent to recruit and bring also on board. So I feel that doing it all in this one I guess, very important crux or this point that we're at would add value, and it would allow us to really, really see where the stature of folks, where our internal folks are compared to where the external applicants are. And I think it's never unwise to see that and be probably, I think I'm hopefully optimistic that the city will be outshining some of the applicants. But I think that we don't know what's out there if we don't extend the call and don't go with the process just like MPT outlined.
Okay, thank you. I'll tell you in a sec. Yes, Councilman Creer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think that we should have an internal team come together, open up the process for, let's say, a week, and take applications in from internally and externally. You make a determination of narrowing those qualified candidates down, bringing that to the council, and whether it's in meetings like you discussed, and then we would make a determination of who we would bring to council. Probably, maybe if you narrow that down to 1 or 2 candidates, then we'd have an open discussion on them, and then we make a decision, and we move forward by June 21st with the new city manager. Thank you.
City attorney.
Excuse me, city attorney. Yeah, even same process for city manager.
Both, yeah.
Yeah, for both. Thank you. For both. Thank you.
And Councilwoman Seaman, please.
Yeah, I agree with my colleagues. I don't know that a week is really enough to get it out there, and people who might be interested, I would probably want to see this go out for a couple of weeks. Just my...
Thank you. Well, I think it sounds to me like I am seeing heads shake that certainly there is an imminence of a motion to exclude a national search with search firms, and that seems very evident. Do we take it one at a time, or you just want our thought process?
You would need to make a motion, Mayor.
Okay, so we'll take number 38 first.
38, yes.
Yes, we'll do it, and then we'll take number 39. I do want to mention, too, that as we're going through this process, again, too, with looking at the future of the administrative, as you called it, silver tsunami, that's age is tough, I'll tell you, because we do have the most incredible staff here. And as they all retire, but it is the council's responsibility to select applicants or select the city manager, select the city attorney. And also, for those of you who may not know, we have an independent auditor who audits even our internal audit. And that is also within the purview of this council. Those 3 positions are responsible to the council. So at this point, we have 2 of those 3 positions open, and that's what the deliberation is. Now, from my perspective, again, because we've always prided ourselves in our processing, our transparency, I think what I'm hearing sounds fair. I have had many calls and emails of people interested in 1 or both positions from outside. I wouldn't say many. To me, more than 4 would be many in these very, very difficult positions, comprehensive positions that really what we've had from Mr. Scott and Mr. Cervantes has just been terrific. So it's a huge step. And when we get to it, and I think the process is good as far as the timeline, as long as, and listening to what Councilwoman Seaman suggested, versus the shorter time frame. One would be that we would post tomorrow, the 8th, and that would be up for, and that, will that be our decision, whether it's, do we come back to that, and then, or an extended time of the posting?
I think what's before you, Mayor, is that you would go ahead and need to select one of the three options that I mentioned. And then if you have a suggested timeline, I do like the 2-week timeline. That seems to be fair to cast a wide enough net. We would be certainly able to handle that.
Okay. Yes,
If I may.
Councilwoman Diaz.
Mr. Zamora, you did mention that if we went with an open recruitment, that you initially mentioned a window of time, July 12th through July 19th. So are we looking to open that window a week ahead? I know it's the 4th of July festivities, or are we looking to just extend it? I just wanted to get clarity around, do you think we should launch it sooner rather than the window of time you just mentioned?
Did you want to read?
City Attorney Brian Scott for the record. Mayor, I don't have such a time frame that I'm, dead set on the August 10th date. So I don't want to rush you through the process. So if you need more time, I'm willing to give you more time. So that's not an issue. So take your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So then does it sound with the council to extend then, to open it July 12th and have it run for the 2-week period and then go the process from there? Or what are your thoughts?
Councilwoman, again.
And we're only on 38 right now.
Yes,
we
ma'am.
haven't gone to that one. Okay.
To address Councilwoman's question, again, these timelines and those timeframes were all estimates. They were left open for you to go ahead and adjust. And since you brought that adjustment forward, that would be part of your recommendation to me.
Okay. All right. So at this point, then let's go ahead and you could please, Mayor Pro Tem.
You want to move to the motion or go?
Yeah. No, we're on agenda. Any comment? Question? You're good. Okay.
So,
This
Madam
is,
Mayor, for item number
reference
38, the motion would be to direct staff to do an open recruitment for 2 weeks for the city attorney position, and then run through the process where each of us get the chance to interview and bring us back the process that you identified through the HR department. Poorly worded, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
In other words, replicate what you did before. It
Yes.
was very well.
Yes.
And with great deference to Mr. Scott, knowing that time is of the essence, but thank you for your contribution, and you've built an amazing staff, and it'll be fun to hear those who are interested talk.
Okay. Any comment to add? Anybody? Are we all okay with that motion?
Just kudos and thank you, Mr. Scott, for saying that you're not rushed to dart out the door yet. Thank you.
Okay. There's a motion. Let's hopeful that you can touch and it works. And please vote and please post. Motion carries. And on to agenda number 39. Now let's talk time frame and Mr. Cervantes' schedule. Oh, excuse me, I'm so excited that we have come to something. Discussion for possible action, this is agenda item 39. Discussion for possible action regarding the various processes for the recruitment and/or appointment of a city manager, including possible authorization to the Human Resources Director to execute a contract with an executive search firm not to exceed $50,000, general fund, all wards. And so in light of that, timeline, anything peculiar here?
Good morning, Mayor, Council. Again, for the record, Vince Zamora, Human Resources Director. There is nothing different from the timeline that I outlined in the previous agenda item to this one. However, I would suggest that given the fact that we are going to be holding simultaneous recruitments, that we be flexible in terms of your schedules in order to meet those estimated timelines as well. I think that the HR team is, again, capable and ready to manage this recruitment. Okay. So if you would like for me to go ahead and read again those options available to you for this
Yes,
will
I'm
go
hearing
ahead.
yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. So again, option number 1 would be an open recruitment, which will include internal and external candidates, and whether you would like an executive search firm to manage that interview process or direct human resources to manage the interview process. If you selected an executive search firm, it would we would evaluate the firm best suited for the search, and there would be a fee which human resources would negotiate not to exceed $50,000. Option number 2 would be an internal recruitment only, managed by human resources, which we are prepared to do, or option number 3, a selection of an individual today.
Thank you. I think we're in good shape here. Any other comment on this agenda item? So shall we go forward and multiply, please?
Well, Madam Mayor, my first thoughts would be that if I could make a motion to make all of you stay for 5 years, that would probably be my first choice. So, nodding of heads, no. I don't want things to change. I think this is one of the best run cities in the country. I have absolutely no challenges with anything that any of you have done in the time that I've been on council, and I was also staff for a very long time, and so I've worked with most of you, not as much with you, Ms. Heltzy, but I'm looking forward to more. And so it's just been an honor and a privilege. My comments are going to be very similar to the city attorney. I think that we have an amazing candidate pool. I would like to go faster because I think we have some excellent candidates internally, and I would love to be able to hear them give their thoughts about the future of Las Vegas. I also think it's helpful to think about what the outside looks like because of that comment about the silver tsunami and so many people leaving the city of Las Vegas. And Mayor, I mentioned to you, I'm terrified of losing that institutional knowledge, that history, that relationships that the city has built with state representatives, county representatives, National League of Cities, U.S. Conference of Mayors. All of those relationships take enormous amounts of time. And so internally, I think is the right path to go. But I also think we need to be thinking about 2 and 4 years from now and understand who has interest in the city of Las Vegas, because I think that's one of our critical jobs, is to really think about, it's not this year or next year, it's thinking about 3 to 5 years from now and who's going to be sitting in those chairs, because I don't think it's going to be the same people. I know it's not. And so my comments are the same, Mayor, as they were for the city attorney. I think it's very helpful to go very fast on this process, and Mr. Cervantes, to be respectful of your time. But if you could stay longer, that would be wonderful and amazing, and I would not stop that in any case. But my comments will be the same, and I would open up for everybody else. I always say that we're a very diverse council. We think differently, and I think that makes us stronger. And so I don't know where the rest of this council is, but that's probably where I'm at. Is I like the interview process, and Mr. Zamora, you did an amazing job. Like I commented before, the ability for us to sit down and listen about the future and vision that the next city manager would have helps us to deliberate and think thoughtfully about the next several years as a council. So if I had the chance, I would make the motion very similar to what I did last time, but I think it's important for everyone to comment.
Okay, so looking down to my right and your left out there, you okay with moving forward with another motion here? Yep. Okay, please, let's go ahead with that motion.
And Madam Mayor, I would move to do the exact same thing as I did the last item, which would be an open process. I think Councilwoman Seaman made a good point about 2 weeks as a minimum, and the HR would guide and direct us through that process.
And that's your motion?
And that would be my motion.
Thank you. There's a motion, please vote.
I'm sorry, Mayor, we're only lucky for 1 vote, so we're going to
Okay,
do
well,
more for this.
sorry about that, Mr. Cervantes. You're here for life. We're not taking it on. Okay, orally, please.
Aye.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
No.
Pardon, nay? Nay. Okay, it doesn't pass. So those who've made the motion cannot bring the new motion, so we need a new motion.
Yes.
It didn't pass.
Madam Mayor, do we have the 4 female? Yes, we do. Okay. Those
Or
are all
nay?
Nays.
Okay.
Thank you.
And so therefore, if I understand legal, that the new motion has to come from those who succeeded on their motion. So we need a new motion from one of the ladies, please. All right, Councilwoman Polensky.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think it's important to acknowledge and thank our current city manager, Jorge Cervantes, for his 36 years of dedicated public service. He always exemplifies the values of duty, honor, trust, and integrity. Mr. Cervantes deserves to ride into the sunset with his wife, children, and grandchildren. He will be missed.
And could you pull the microphone closer or get closer to it, please?
Not everyone has the capacity to be a leader, and not everyone wants to be a leader, because generally leadership comes at great personal sacrifice. Just ask Mr. Cervantes. The job of Las Vegas City Manager is never ending and relentless. His phone never stops ringing, texts come in constantly. There are no evenings or holidays off. And you have 7 hyper-demanding bosses. More importantly, you have 3,700 subordinate employees depending on your leadership 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. The responsibility of the job is exceptionally large. We are fortunate to have multiple highly qualified internal candidates for our city manager position, and we would be well served with every interested internal candidate. Our bench here at the City of Las Vegas is strong and capable, and that's largely due to Mr. Cervantes' thoughtful stewardship. But there's one specific candidate who stands out to myself and other council members. I believe the candidate's work ethic, outstanding communication skills, and commitment to balanced governing makes him the strong leader our city needs and our residents deserve. Mike Jansen is a big picture thinker and a problem solver. He's adept at dealing with complex issues and is a results-driven leader. He has effectively mentored those around him, teaching and coaching one of the strongest departments in our city's org chart. I'd like to make a motion to select Mike Jansen as our next Las Vegas City Manager, and for Mr. Jansen to immediately begin the employment agreement contract negotiation process with our Human Resources Director, Mr. Vince Zamora.
And that is in the form of a motion?
That is my motion.
Okay. And so we'll have comments, please. Let's start down with Councilwoman Brony and then to Councilman Creer, and then I'll comment too.
Thank you, Councilwoman Alan Polinsky. I echo your excellent remarks and would like to second the motion. Before I do, I'd like to add the following thoughts as well. Like my colleague, Councilman Alan Polinsky, I too recognize that we have a lot of talent at the city. I am grateful for that and know that we'll remain in great hands even after our current leader, Jorge Cervantes, leaves us. I've also learned a lot since arriving at City Hall. For example, I've come to realize that much of what we do involves things that may not grab headlines like a pretty new building might. It may actually sound pretty mundane or boring, like traffic and pedestrian safety, and things you can't see, like underground sewer and water lines. But I've come to realize that these responsibilities of the city are just as important, if not even more critical, to maintaining a vibrant, healthy city that can support growth, new businesses, and innovation. And for this reason, I believe that Mike Jansen, who's an engineer by training, is the right person for where our city is now. We've got several big development projects in the hopper and some steady infill projects. We must balance the need to modernize our older urban core while ensuring that we don't disrupt businesses and traffic patterns any more than we have to. As demands on our water resources continue to grow and attract attention, it is important that we have someone who understands the physical systems, has expertise in these systems, and has good relations with our regional partners, like the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Making sure we execute the projects before us and leverage new opportunities will require someone with a laser focus. Since I've arrived, Mike Jansen and his team have consistently responded within an hour to my inquiries and requests, even on the weekends and after hours. As I tried to navigate agreements between the city and some of our HOAs about deals and agreements that were done decades ago, Mike has been able to rattle off the history and the details because he has that institutional knowledge and history here in the city. We know that we face many challenges in the next 12 to 18 months. Mayor Goodman already alluded to some of them. We'll have a new mayor, a new city attorney, additional requirements. As such, it is critically important that we have someone who has the experience and expertise to ensure that the business of the City of Las Vegas, the steady completion of existing projects, the successful launch of new projects, and the continued safety and beautification of our community spaces will continue so that the great City of Las Vegas will remain a wonderful place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Seaman and Councilman Creed.
I just want to echo the thoughts of my colleagues, and while we have so much great talent here, we have so much, but I'm going to support Mike Jansen for our next city manager as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, let me say that I think Mike Jansen's done a great job in terms of the scope of work that he has done in terms of public works. We've worked well together. He's been very proactive in working with myself and my team. But I do find it amazing that we aren't going to open this process up for others to put their name in a hat. I can tell you that I know that Dr. Lisa Morse-Hibbler has done an absolute, positive, amazing job. Personally, she is a wonderful person. She is wicked smart. She is great with the community. She has dedicated herself, her life, her family, has dedicated themselves to the city of Las Vegas, to the betterment of the growth of the city. She works well internally and externally with just about anybody and everybody that I know, and she has the utmost respect for members of the community. She has the utmost respect, I think, internally and externally, which is vitally important as a city manager. A city manager's job is much, much, much more than just building buildings. It's about community relations. It is about the work that we're doing with youth development, social innovation. It is about operation maintenance. It's about parks. It's about working well with council. It's not just one aspect of a job. And if you look at the work that she's done, she is the most well-rounded person in our bench. I know that a year ago, city manager asked the team who would be interested in being a city manager. Nobody raised their hand except for Dr. Lisa Morse-Hibbler. She has been working towards this with the support of the city manager and others. I know that Mike Jensen has a job in Arizona that he has accepted, and he was ready to leave the city of Las Vegas, and it wasn't until this opportunity came about that he has decided to, put his name in the hat, which I don't fault him for. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying that he was literally on his way out the door. He was not committed to staying. He has his time, and he was committed to leaving, and already gave his notice to leave. And so I just don't find it in the best interest of the city and the citizens of Las Vegas right now to accept this nomination, especially without having a opportunity to vet other candidates who are interested in the position, just like we were doing for the city attorney's position. And so because of that, I won't be in support of this nomination. Not necessarily because of Mike himself, but just one, the process, and two, and I think there's other people that the council needs to vet out and to discuss and understand and learn what their vision is for the city and what their vision is internally and externally as the next city manager. The city manager works also across the board with county managers and city managers in North Las Vegas and in Henderson, as well as working with our state representatives, governor's office. It's a very key role. And I think someone that has strong relationships throughout the community is extremely well suited to be the next city attorney. So I will not be in support of this, but I do like Mike, but I will not be in support of this nomination. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I just want to be clear and consistent, because I've said the same thing to pretty much every single person I've spoken to, is that I think this is a very important decision for the city, and I think that the consistency of the council is incredibly important for the future of Las Vegas. And so while I made the motion to do an open process, I've also been very clear that because I've worked with anybody who would have applied for a really good amount of time, is that I would be the fifth vote. And so I would be, if there's 4 votes for Mr. Jansen, then I will be in support of Mr. Jansen. But again, I think everyone up here has done an amazing job, and if that's the way of 4 votes of this council, I'll be the 5th vote.
Thank you. It comes to me, and as everybody knows, nobody, well, I shouldn't say that, I can speak only for me. I love this city. I love the life it has given me to have a full life here, my family, 4 beautiful children who Oscar and I never could have had except for the availability of Catholic Charities who've enriched our lives. We've had an opportunity here to be part of the heartbeat, to help everybody work together as one group, and to be part of the pulse beat of the city of Las Vegas. At the time Oscar took office, we were in pretty big mess here. The deterioration of downtown was rampant. Crime, prostitution, drugs everywhere, boarded up buildings. And we were just on a slide to who knows where because of his vision and his counsel in those years, and then the city management. We've come a long, long way. And I keep going back to the word silver tsunami. There's so many people in our community, even at the state level and certainly at the county level, that have no idea of the mountains that have been moved to revitalize this fabulous city. It's taken everybody. It's taken our staff down to the very newest hire all the time, whether it's through our marshals, fire and rescue, neighborhood services, community services, at the higher end, the infrastructure and everything that's been built. So many have no idea what this city has done. It's because we are a group of family of people who have been determined to work together and really have enjoyed it because of the successes we have in every single department. We can spare no one in that. And we really are at a point of enormous holes that are going to be here. And when you don't know history, you repeat it. We have right now a homeless issue that's been up in front of the legislature. You all know about it. And one hand had no idea what we'd been doing here, not because we haven't offered to share our successes and what we've been doing, but when we get pushback from other governments or other parts and facets, we pull together, we get together our councils of the past 24 years, and our management, and said we will go forward. Through the laws, we have made impact. We have gone ahead and done things other cities and other communities have not had the strength, the guts, or the ingenuity to work forward and pull together. So safety is always number one, healthcare number two, economic development and redevelopment have been number three continuously here at the city. When we went through this process, and there's not a person up here that on a Bible would say, I have come to proselytize anything in their different wards of this selection process. Of course, after living here 59 years, I do have my personal opinions, but what matters is the future of our community, the future of Las Vegas. And we own the name, and it is Las Vegas, and it's known worldwide. And we know that we have the responsibility to always do the right thing. When the scenario fell out, starting back probably a good 8 to 10 months ago or longer, that many of our staff were going to consider retiring. They'd done 25 years every day of building this community back, some even longer than that. And as to response to what everybody has brought up here, to me, I know that when this process came about and other people came and talked to me and said, I'm leaving, and where are you going and what job are you going to take, all of that any of you do personally. Everybody had indicated the truth, and as Councilman Creer just alluded to, Mike Jansen, who's grown up through this city, through the process, through great education, but through the mentorship of Mr. Cervantes. When he said he was leaving, and I was told by management that in asking all chiefs, all the top staff, one person stood up and said, "Not only will I stay, but I will stay through the end of this mayor's term and a whole nother year into the new mayor's term for continuity." And that says, wow. I mean, my goodness, looking at all the vacancies I talked about that could occur but already have been there, and having the wonderful new people on council that we have. So with all of that said, I was so grateful, so thankful, and of course have worked right beside Dr. Hibbler all these years since I first took office in '99, but before that, knowing her so well through my husband. And having the, working with the school district, working through Safekey, working through Neighborhood Lift, trying to find housing, trying to help take care and create programs so we could address with our businesses the homeless problem and the interference, and yet encourage new investments such as what Circa's done for the city, and the Fremont Street experience, and then law enforcement. I mean, just hours and hours of developing personal relationships, meaningful ones that have made such a difference here. And then came about, through the goodwill of our council, inquiry because of the concern of the three priorities of the city: safety, health care, and economic development. And so with the goodwill and good meaning, I'm sure, conversations began to have Mr. Jansen reconsider. And so with all of that occurring, and with the duty of this body, the duty of this body is to take care of this city and its future. I had asked Mr. Cervantes, isn't it possible now, if Mr. Jansen is interested and willing to reconsider, is it possible to bifurcate the job, because you have two great people here, not judging anything else, two highly valued individuals. And of course he said to me, no, you can't have, the buck has to stop somewhere. So to me, I have the warmest passion for a talented, brilliant lady who's done nothing but put forth full energy, and I was ready to stand with that. I did not ask one person here, who would you consider for this job? Everybody was thrilled to hear that Dr. Hibbler was willing to stay through another year and into the new year of the new mayorship. And that was what was out there. And so at this point, believing in the reasoning and the comments that everybody has made as to why they are behind Mr. Jansen's selection appointment, if in fact a contract can be reached, I see those pieces as well. He has been a phenomenal employee. He's connected very well, not only here but in Washington, knows the players and how to get physical jobs done. We've seen the 3rd Street opening that was done. We have this project across the street, which is in the works. I'm sure it will continue if Mr. Jansen went somewhere else. But we are in a silver tsunami. There are going to be so many holes, and if you don't remember the history in economic development and in the buildings and in the work. So my sense is, because of the cohesiveness of this body, my heart, my soul, my vote would have definitely been Dr. Hibbler. I thank you. I really admire you. You have been so selfless. I hope you will stay. There's much work, and many of us have jobs and get a lot of hits, but we don't quit. I'm not saying you would quit, but what I'm saying is please stay with us, because I know with a vote already there of 4, that's 5. We need you. This homeless situation is a crisis. Forget the silver tsunami. This is an atom bomb that's out there. And you know all the background. And the city manager, if it were to be that this didn't pass, but I know it's going to pass, and Mike can't do that piece. He will have to rely on you. And I know your heart and soul and who you are, and what a disappointment, to say nothing of your own dignity. And this is something I'm qualified to do. I have holes. We all have holes. But I hope, I don't even hope, I pray that you will stay on, because if that isn't solved and this new legislative act is enacted, you all go to Los Angeles and go to Skid Row, and that will be your downtown. And there is a cadre of people that Lisa Morris Hibbler has around the country and in workforce development and everything on when we talk STEM for our children. You can't have just STEM. You have to have an A in there for the arts and the soft side and the people. And so what we need is for us to be totally together for at least, well, I've got 1 more year to go. And I guarantee you I am 100%. And I beg you, Dr. Hibbler, I know I've competed in things in my life. This wasn't a competition. Mike Jansen has inordinate talents and skills and has been mentored, and he's terrific. But it fails if your end of things fail. So I'm asking you, please stay with us and know the value of who you are, what you've accomplished, and it's just the beginning. You have a life that's so awesome out there. You're a remarkable woman with remarkable talents. And as for you, Mike Jansen, you know, 3 years ago, I said, are you going to stay and be city manager? And at that time, I thought you're thinking, well, I may be. But you didn't say anything to me. And I could see Christmas future here. And so that you have come back because this is your city. I hope you will get down on a knee, tell your wife it's okay, to this lady to make sure that she stays. Because if she doesn't, and this falls apart, because there's no memory here. There is no memory of what we've been through these past 25 years, that you've been here, that she's been here, working on this issue. What's a killer is ignorance. And as you bring new people in here who know nothing, we fail. We're doomed. This little downtown historic center is doomed. So I just hope, Mike, as you continue on with this, and you will have my support, 100%. Because I'd asked you before. Never dreaming we would get to this time. Never. But knowing how well how smart you are and how connected and how your foresight and your work with Flood and with RTC and with Washington and our lobbyists there and our elected officials there, where we're not so good as up north. And the reality is this is our city and you all made it. And this council and prior councils have made it. So Lisa Morris Hibbler, he needs you desperately. We'll be fine if you stay. If you don't stay, oh, Mike. So, Mike, you're great. You can do it. You have to walk with him, please. So with that, I am going to support my counsel on this. But I can't tell you, my little heart is thumping in here. And you're almost back to normal with your shoulder. It's part of life. You have to take sometimes cuts to get better. When we love you, we respect you. Kathy, everything that's been accomplished in this city, you've been helping to build from the days way back. Thank you.
Mayor Jeff Dorkek, Assistant City Attorney. I was just going to jump on with this item to cover the open meeting law for it so we don't get into any trouble on the back end. And correct
Fire me.
Pardon?
Fire me.
And Councilwoman Plansky, correct me if I misstate anything, but the motion for the clerk's office that will be recorded will be utilizing the process for appointment for Mr. Jansen and direction to HR to come back with a contract once negotiated. We should go ahead and put a new item on the next meeting agenda for June 21st that calls for the ratification of the appointment of Mr. Jansen, so his name's in the agenda, and if the contract's ready in 2 weeks, we can do that as well, but we should do the ratification in 2 weeks.
Yes, and do you agree to that, Councilwoman Polensky?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
It's
What Jeff
wonderful
said.
to have a good lawyer. Okay, so at this point, everybody's voted except for Councilwoman Bruni and Mayor Goodman. Why isn't Councilwoman Bruni coming through? And post. And forward we go. Congratulations. Thank you all. Thank you. Okay. Are you coming up to breathe on the microphone?
Madam Mayor, Member City Council, Mike Jansen for the record. I want to thank you for this opportunity to be your next city manager. You know, this has been a challenging couple of weeks as this has been discussed and considered. What I will tell you is 27 years ago when I came to the city for a job interview, I asked the hiring manager, what's the career path look like at the city of Las Vegas? And he told me, Mike, the career path is really good. If you work hard and you keep learning, the sky's the limit. I will tell you that this is absolutely not what I was thinking in that interview all those years ago. But the fact is, I've had great mentors throughout my entire career, and I'm here today solely because of those mentors who helped me along the way. None more important in my mentorship than our current city manager. As I told you in some of the conversations we had, my last 4 positions that I've had here, I didn't ask for. I was tapped and said, we need you, Mike, we need you to step up for this next level of leadership. And that's what I'm here today to tell you, that I'm prepared to step up to this next level of leadership and look forward to working with each and every one of you, your staff, and of course our 3,000 plus city employees to continue making the city a great place to live, work, play, and for our developers out there to invest in. So with that, I very much thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mike, you mind if we say a word?
Oh, please.
Thank
yes.
you. One, I just want to congratulate you on the appointment. I know that I didn't vote for it, where I was more for a process, not necessarily for you by any means. I think you've been excellent. You've been a pleasure to work with. My goodness, we have so much stuff going on, and I know in my ward that you've led the charge for. And any time that we have come to you, anyone in your team as well, you have been readily available, and you guys have been very responsive. We do have a lot of work to do, continue to do in the role. I know you're going to move into a different role, but hopefully you'll find someone to replace you that'll be just as responsive and to our needs. So thank you and congratulations to you. Wish you all the best. God bless.
Absolutely, Councilman, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say we've been doing great things in Ward 5, and I enjoy very much working with you, so we'll continue doing that and as much more as we can.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to agenda item 40. That's resolutions, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution related to Tourism Improvement District, providing other matters properly related thereto for parcels generally bordered by the Kingsway, Teddy Drive to the north, Rancho Drive to the east, Wyandotte Street and Rigel Avenue to the west, and Sirius Avenue to the south. That's in Ward 3 with Councilwoman Diaz.
Good morning, Mayor. Again, Jeff Dorkek, Assistant City Attorney for the record. I'll lead off here for Ryan Smith. As you read, this item is a resolution related to a proposed tourism improvement district in the city. Specifically, if approved, this resolution will authorize and direct city staff to take all necessary and appropriate actions under NRS Chapter 271A prior to the introduction of the ordinance required for the creation of this proposed TID on the screen in front of you. Steps required prior to the introduction of that ordinance include a preponderance study, public hearings, and a presentation to the Nevada Commission on Tourism. With that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Smith, the UD Director, who has a detailed map of the proposed tourism improvement district, which would be the outcome of the process that starts today with this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, members of council. Ryan Smith, Director of Economic and Urban Development for the record. As Jeff mentioned, this is really the first step to kick off the process that would ultimately culminate in an ordinance for a TID agreement with the specific project that we'll be applying for this incentive. As you can see on the map, I know it's a little blurry potentially on the screen, but to the north is Teddy Drive, to the west is Meade, the south is Cirrus, and the east is Rancho. To give you an idea of a few key milestones, Jeff mentioned some of the things. I can roughly or loosely predict some dates. There is a lot of flexibility in these dates due to the time it takes for the consultant to go over the preponderance study and all that, and the materials that need to exchange hands. But after this resolution, we would order that preponderance study through the state. It would take a couple of months to validate the project as a tourism-related project and also the revenue it could potentially create. There would then be a resolution calling for a public hearing. One of them would have to be at the county. The county could choose to have that public hearing. We would basically go up and present this project. They could have no action, but we would receive input from them on this. In October, hopefully, we would come back to you and discuss the findings of that preponderance study, the funds and the uses, how they would be appropriated. If that were to be approved, we would target going to the Commission on Tourism in December. With that, we would try to kick off the ordinance process with the city, go through those steps, and then ultimately, hopefully, finalize this by the end of February. It is an aggressive timeline for that. I roughly calculated in total there would be around 9 public hearings on this TID. And again, this is the very beginning of this process. We don't have all the details yet. Some very high-level preliminary details on the total scope of the project, just to give you an idea. If the full build-out were to occur, we're talking about 400,000 square feet of retail space. They call it immersive retail space if you've been to the Area 15 area. 1,730 new parking spaces, 100,000 square feet of creative office, and a 200-key hotel. That's conceptually what they're looking at. Again, we have a lot to flesh out. This is step one of the process, and I'm be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Sounds very exciting. Comments, questions here? Okay. I guess there's nobody else. It's yours.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I appreciate Mr. Smith also briefing my colleagues before this item coming to us today. I appreciate him also reminding everyone that this is just initiating a process. There's going to be a study, there's going to be vetting. We're going to see if it's financially feasible, and that will then be guiding our future decision making later in the fall. So with that, I move to approve agenda item 40.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve agenda item 40. Please
We need
vote. I can't do it.
oral vote, please.
Oral vote. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Smith. On to 41, boards and commissions. Discussion for possible action regarding the reappointment of Colleen Beck to the Historic Preservation Commission. Councilwoman Bruni, I understand you would like to make this motion.
I'm sorry, which number?
This is agenda 41 with Colleen Beck.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Colleen Beck to the Historic Preservation Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 42, pardon me, Discussion for possible action regarding the reappointment of Dr. Elaine Bengochia, Ward 1 designee to the Board of Directors, CLV Strong Start Academy Elementary Schools, Inc., for a 2-year term. Mayor Pro Tem, I understand you are willing to and excited about making this reappointment.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve Dr. Elaine Bengochia to the Strong Start Academy Elementary Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a motion on agenda item 42 for the reappointment. Would you all please comment? Okay.
No comments.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. And we'll move on to agenda item 43, recommending committee bills eligible for adoption at a later meeting. Item number 43, bill number 2023-13, will be heard at a later meeting. New bills. New bills. Items number 44 and 45, bills number 2023-14, 2023-15 will be heard at recommending committee meeting on Tuesday, June 20th. Assistant Attorney, would you please read the new bills?
Yes, ma'am. Bill number 2023-14, an ordinance to amend LVMC Chapter 4.24 regarding the residential construction tax for park construction to update the provisions for determining the amount of the tax for each residential dwelling unit and provide for other related matters. Bill number 2023-15, an ordinance to authorize, on a temporary basis, the waiver of business license application fees for certain types of new alcoholic beverage licenses for qualifying businesses to be located within the downtown area referred to as Las Vegas Brewery Row, and to provide for other related matters.
Thank you. New bills 2023-14, 2023-15 are assigned to the June 20th, 2023 recommending committee members, Councilman Knutson and Councilwoman Seaman Polensky. If any so designated are unable to attend, the clerk's office will coordinate finding substitutes as necessary in my direction. Thank you very much. And now we will go on to agenda item 46. Item number 46 on the consent agenda, considered to be routine, recommended for approval by the Department of Community Development. Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion to approve consent agenda number 46, please?
Move to approve item number 46.
All in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Move
Mayor,
on.
I hate to interrupt. Luann Holmes, City Clerk for the record. We are having problems with the Granicus Now software across the board. So I suggest you finish the meeting taking oral votes.
Okay, we will do that. I think we've been doing that now for 3 as well. So it's done. Yay for humanity. Forget technology, except for the good it does. Okay. Item number 47, A, B, and C. 47 is 220561, following land use entitlement project request on .45 acres at 3730 Capella Avenue, Suites 1 through 6, number 6, M Industrial Zone. 47A 220561 VAR1 to allow 0 additional parking spaces where 20 additional spaces are required for an existing parking impaired development. Oh, that's cute. Parking impaired development. Oh, goodness. And now we're into 47B 220561 VAR2 to allow no outdoor storage screening where such is required and to allow chain link fencing where such material is prohibited. 47C 220561 SUP1 for proposed auto repair garage major use. The applicant is AMG Auto Sales. The owner is Capella Center LLC. Planning Commission recommends approval. Staff recommends denial. Note the correct ward for these items is Ward 3 with Councilwoman Diaz, and our public hearings, which I declare open. Is the applicant or representative present? If you please come forward, sir.
Hello, my name is Carlos Vitelli with AMG Auto Sales.
Thank you. Did you get that, Madam Clerk? You announced your name again, please, sir.
Carlos Vitelli with AMG Auto Sales.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor. Seth Floyd for the record. Mayor, staff requests that item number 47A, which is 22-0561 VAR1, be stricken, as the subject site is a parking impaired development and the proposed use would not have a more intense parking requirement than that of the building's original use. Regarding the remaining variance and special use permit applications, staff finds the proposed variance request is self-imposed and preferential in nature, and therefore we are unable to support this request. As the special use permit is dependent on the variance application, staff cannot support either application and recommends denial of both. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments you would like to have before we, and this is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to address 47, 47A, B, and C? I'll close the public, oh yes, please, and your name?
Good morning, Misha Ray, 1980 Festival Plaza Drive, here on behalf of a neighboring business, Johnson Business Machines. I would just like to say thank you to Councilwoman Diaz and to the applicant Carlos, as well as staff for working through this project with us. We have a business right on the corner of Capella and Procyon that has had parking issues throughout its recent history, with this area becoming more vehicle laden, and we've worked with Carlos, we've worked with the Councilwoman's office to work through those issues, and we look forward to more parking intervention in the area, and we just wanted to come and say thank you to the Councilwoman for those efforts, and that's our comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now closing public comment unless there's someone else. Okay, any comments, questions from council? Nope. Okay, Councilwoman Diaz, please.
Thank you very much. I just want to say, Carlos, thank you for staying the course with us. I know we've held your item for hostage for several meetings, but we really wanted to do our due diligence and drill down. It took some time to really get an assessment after Mr. Johnson and Misha came to let us know about the circumstances surrounding where you're wanting to go. We wanted to just make sure that we were fully aware of everything that's currently in the elements. I appreciate you not being shy and hesitant about meeting with Mr. Johnson, talking through the issues, how you're not adding to anything that's currently existing, and actually I hope that you'll become a good neighbor and continue to work with our parking enforcement, who will continue to hopefully track what's going on in the adjacency to see what measures, what other things will we have to do to move the needle to improve how parking exists and is being taken advantage of in the vicinity, and I'll leave it at that. So I think that what you're doing right now, if you could explain to the council, you basically purchase vehicles.
Yeah, we purchase vehicles from the auctions, we repair them, and then we basically don't sell to the public. We mainly sell back to the auctions, so it goes back to wholesale. We just want to have the ability to fix our own vehicles and stuff, trying to find outside companies to repair them and then be able to save some money. So that's essentially what we do. We just buy them at the auction, fix them, sell them back through the auctions, and go from there.
So basically, if they're in a bay, they're being repaired, and then they basically come in and out. They don't really have much permanence. Yeah, they don't need to stay on our property, because typically we'll go through there's several auctions. What they do is we send them to the auction. Mannheim's probably the largest one. We send it to Mannheim, stays on their property, and that's as far as it goes. Okay.
So that is why you don't need extra parking?
No, it was because I'll have Mr. Floyd, because they went all the way. Mr. Lowenstein did the diligence of looking at microfiche when this development came up in the city, and so he can articulate it better than I.
Thanks, Councilman Seth Floyd, for the record. And you stole our thunder. We wanted to say microfiche on the record. It's not something we get to say very often. But yes.
And my kid doesn't have any idea what we're talking about. He's like, it's not on a phone.
We may have had some staff who didn't know what that was either before this process. But yeah, so this building was built in, I believe, 1955. It's an older building, and so we had to go back through our historical records to see what had been on the site and approved on the site, and that's where we determined that actually this use is not creating a greater intensity than what has historically been approved on the site, and that's how we got to that conclusion.
And since I have you there, Mr. Floyd, could you also speak to the conditions that the Planning Commission already put on the applicant?
Yeah, so the Planning Commission added a few conditions on the variance. The remaining variance, there was a condition that the razor wire is to be removed within 90 days of final approval. The chain link fence must be in compliance with Title 19 height requirements. Those were two conditions placed on the variance. And then the special use permit was conditioned for, quote, "No vehicle may be parked on the premises for the purpose of offering the vehicle for sale." So that reflects, I think, the business model that he just represented.
So
on the
that
record.
was 47A that you said you
That
were
would be
recommending striking.
47B was the variance with the two conditions, and 47C is the SUP with the no parking condition.
Thank you.
Or no sales condition, excuse me.
Yep.
Thank you. If there are no other questions from my colleagues, Madam Mayor, I'm going to move to approve agenda items 47B and C.
Okay, there's a motion on 47, B and C. All in favor?
With the conditions that
With the
were
conditions.
just
that-
articulated, or that carries over automatically, Mr. Lewis?
So the conditions are already in your backup in the
Okay.
staff report, but if you could have the motion also reflect that you're striking item 47A.
Okay.
That's the important part, yes.
All right, so let me try it again.
Okay.
I move to, so I can do joint motions, so strike and continue, okay. So I move to strike agenda item 47A and approve agenda items 47B and C with the conditions in the staff report.
Okay, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, agenda item 48, set the date on any appeals filed or required public hearings. I'd instruct the city clerk to set the public hearing dates and appeals from city planning commission meetings in dangerous building, nuisance, and litter abatements, please.
Will do. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Number 49, we are into our second, and where's Mr. Harris? Did he come back? No. Okay. Our second and final citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of City Council. No subject may be acted upon by City Council unless the subject is on the agenda scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please come to the podium, give your name for the record, the amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. It is your opportunity to address council, but council is not able to respond or engage in dialogue. Are there any members public wishing to speak under this portion of the agenda? We'll set the time at 3 minutes, please. Hi.
Madam Mayor, may I have the camera?
There you are.
Okay, the first thing I'd like to mention is the work that goes into this agenda. It's phenomenal. But when we have an empty page, we should use it. We should be able to say something about TED Talks. We should have suggestions, upcoming meetings, upcoming events. Now, that said, the empty page on the next part I'm using. This is your trash bins. You're looking down from the top, okay? And they have 3 supports that hold the dome, the green dome. Are you with me? These are the trash bins on the corners that you see. The problem with this, you can't put a pizza box in it. This space here is not big enough for a pizza box. So what I'm recommending is that we cut one of the posts from here and move it to here. This opens this space for pizza boxes. Now, because it's still 3 points, it's still very secure. And because the top is a dome and it has bends in it, engineering, that is very strong. This is something that could be done in the field. You come up, you cut the post, move it around, weld it, paint it, and you go on. Now, if perchance, and the top is still very secure, if you need more security, then you can weld a half circle in. But I think this will clean up the downtown greatly. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else, please come forward.
Hello, Mayor and City Council. My name is Michael Mijatovic, for the record. So I wanted to come forward today to talk about just the majority of crises that we have been facing. I don't know if the timer is supposed to go off.
You have 3 minutes, if you'll start him again. Please.
So we're dealing with a lot of, sorry about that. We're dealing with a lot of new crises now that have been coming up. And I remember earlier you were talking about the homelessness crisis. And sorry, I'm just trying to, well, it is definitely an issue, and it's been going on for years, and you can see it just spreading throughout the valley and many different areas. Areas where maybe 10 to 15 years ago homeless people never were are now cluttered with them, and they constantly go back and forth, and you see them with shopping carts and other supplies that they carry on them. A lot of the time they don't want to get help because they don't want to give up these supplies too. So I feel as if that could be taken into consideration, maybe apart from places where homeless people could stay, maybe there's places where we could put their stuff and their belongings so they feel it's safe, which would probably inspire them more to get help. And I feel that'd be very beneficial. And then all these other issues as well, the war with Ukraine, I realize that's not a city issue, but I mean, with protests and demonstrations that could be made, I feel the city could make more of an impact to push out more of a pro-Ukrainian sort of stance, because that's obviously a major issue that's going on around the world, and I don't believe it should be denied or ignored. I believe it should be confronted, and mental health as well. I feel as if a lot of the environmental damage, and you can see on charts, you can see the rise in chemicals and other harmful and dangerous intoxicants in the airwaves just increasing within the last couple of decades, exponentially more than they ever have. And I feel like this all constitutes to the mental health crisis. Again, with the war in Ukraine, I mean, it's just awful. And I feel people are really upset by this, and not enough action is done. But I feel getting people together for protests and demonstrations and rallies on a more larger scale and on a city-based scale. And I feel City Council would be a lot better in organizing these events more than just individual people and individual groups. I feel because it spread a better message about how the City Council cares about its community, and then it could show it and prove it, and people could be excited about it. But yes, there's a lot of issues and problems, but I feel all of them could be dealt with by spreading awareness is essentially what I'm saying. But thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And I highly recommend you go on our website, make an appointment to take a tour of our courtyard on Foremaster. You will see those who enter the courtyard have facilities for storing. We also have accommodations for pets. And so to speak from a point of knowledge, having seen what we're offering, all you have to do is go up on the city website, which has been redesigned and looks lovely, and make an appointment to visit the courtyard on Las Vegas Boulevard, between Main and Las Vegas Boulevard, Foremaster.
All right.
We'd be happy to tour you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, come back. This is public comment. Anybody who wishes to make comment, now's the time. Yes. It wasn't Harris? Crane? I'm sorry if you'd restate.
My name is Russ Martin.
Martin, not Harris, because I'm thinking Martin and Harris, Martin and Harris Construction that's been here for so long. So please, you have 3 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Hey, oh, the brain just goes. This guy was talking about air quality and things, and he's right. Okay, Ms. Goodman, do you believe in our Constitution? Very good. I just want to make sure of this. 2 months ago, I gave you documentation about the criminal activities of our police and legal system. They've been violating my constitutional rights to a fair trial. And this has been going on for 3.5 years. In 2019, I was at Las Vegas Athletic Club. Policemen came and they arrested me for felony assault with a deadly weapon upon an elderly person. Gabriel Villanueva, the policeman, colluded with Robert Moose, who actually attacked me. and he turns out he's a retired policeman. So he knew how to communicate. Then the next part of the equation goes over to the public defenders, Jake Galano, Katrina Ross, Tony Worthman, who manifested witness statements with statements in the statements to induce me to plead guilty. I gave disclosure of this to Judge Michael Vigliani. He called me a liar. At this point, I knew I was in a criminal organization and in fear because they're threatening me with a year in jail and $10,000 minimum court fees. I fired Jake Galano, Katrina Ross, Tony Worthy, all of them. They gave me an outside public defender because I found I finally got the courage up. I mailed a document to Chris Adams, one of the key witnesses, who was right next to me. He filled it out, and he exonerated me of this crime. And then I saw it, and I said, this is too important. I need you to notarize it. And so I made him notarize this document. I then moved on, jumping forward. I got Carl Arnold, an outside attorney. They flipped him. He went from going to submit documents to drop charges against me to not even communicating with me. He just wouldn't communicate. I fired him. On the third attempt of firing him, I'm in court, and all of a sudden, the judge decides to change the arrest report. They rewrote it to a misdemeanor. This changed the dynamics. I didn't understand it until I was going down the elevator, and I realized, because I was telling him, I'm going to defend myself with the jury. When they reduce it to a misdemeanor, I believe that I don't get a jury. It's a judge again. And I have dealt with multiple judges. All of them are violating the Constitution. And this includes your son, Eric Goodman, who was involved in small claims. He allowed Gabriel Villanueva to make claims that he was a witness to the case. He wasn't even there. And I wasn't even given knowledge he was going to show up in small claims.
Thank you, sir. That's the 3 minutes, and I'm sorry, I would have to, if there are any questions or anything, our city attorney, Mr. Scott here, if you could get any information that you would think through the legal process.
City Attorney Brian Scott for the record, Mayor. I already reviewed this gentleman's documents. This is outside your jurisdiction. This has happened in the district court, so you don't really have any purview over this matter.
Fine, and my son is only with the Justice Court.
Correct.
He's not with the district court.
Correct.
So there's some
It's outside your jurisdiction.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I didn't know that. All I researched was that the mayor is in charge of the police department. So, all right. So if you're with the city?
Okay, so that was agenda item. I have not closed. Anyone else? Public hearing? I'll close public hearing. Okay, we'll now move on to emerging issues. I think we've really had some emerging issues. All right, folks, any emerging issues? Councilwoman Seaman, any emerging issue? How about, can you come up with an emerging issue, Councilman Creer? Yes, we have a taker.
I do have one.
Diaz.
I do have one, Madam Mayor. We've been hearing, as the session was closing out, a lot of conversations about the state wanting to get involved in ensuring that there is more homeless services, which we are big supporters. We've been kind of walking the walk, not just talking the talk for a long time as a city. So Grant Sawyer's name has come up a couple of times. That's in close proximity to, it's in adjacency to my ward. I drive by it every day on my commute into City Hall. So I just wanted to put it on our staff's radar to keep council informed as we hear of anything potential of us maybe acquiring the site or the future of the site, because we've also been hearing in the news that the state is relocating all of its state employees out of there, and I think that that is very impactful to us as a city.
Mayor, through you, City Manager. So we have made both the governor's office as well as the Assembly and Speaker of the House, Majority Leader, aware that we have interest. We sent them a letter last week saying with the intent of moving out. We'd like to have a conversation with you as quickly as possible about the future of Sawyer Village. So as those conversations progress, we'll keep you abreast and see if we can bring you into a conversation.
And Mayor, this is an emerging issue, and so if one or more of you would like to have something on a future council agenda, I think that the city manager would certainly entertain that thought.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, nothing else, Councilwoman Polensky? Nope. Okay, now we come to the hurrahs and all the exciting things that we have doing. So we are now, I have to remember how we went. We went from Councilwoman Polensky, then to Councilwoman Bruni last time. So now we're going to start middle spot right there. Never done a middle first. Councilwoman Seaman and then Councilwoman Diaz. Then I got to go to the inners. Okay.
Wow. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I feel honored and privileged that I get to go first because I'm in an odd seat.
Yeah.
So over the last couple of weeks, we did a couple events in Ward 2. First at Piggott Elementary School. At the 5th grade graduation, I provided certificates of recognition to the students who completed the Great American Program. I have to say, a lot of our schools completed that, and that is just amazing. I also recognized Water Safety Month by partnering with Float Like a Duck, where I read a water safety book to the Safe Key children and handed out the water safety bookmarks. Then I attended the United States Tennis Association, next slide, Women's Association Luncheon, where I recognized Mary Maragos, Maureen Caruso, and Kelly Morgan for their hard work and dedication for creating a vibrant tennis community in Ward 2, in which you know much about that, don't you, Councilman Creer? And we had my favorite monthly event, our Breakfast Buzz, and we had an amazing turnout. And I was honored to introduce our new Summerlin Area Command Captain, Joseph Lepore, to Ward 2. Together, we answered questions from our constituents. Next slide. Every year, the American Legion Post 76 has a beautiful Memorial Day ceremony to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice to defend our country. So this year, I was honored to host and participate in their 21st Memorial Day ceremony. I also found out that it was actually their 23rd because before they got permission from the HOA, they had already been doing it, and then they gathered together with the HOA and did it officially. So it's always great to partner with them and support such a great event. And then Valentino Montegrande is a Bishop Gorman High School student. Yes, there you go. It's all about you today. It was wonderful to recognize him at City Hall for breaking the decade-old record in the male open 100 fly swim, ranking him number 2 in the state of Nevada. So next we have Meatball. Oh my God, he's so cute. I think I want to go adopt him right now.
Oh my God.
He must be new because I didn't see him there last time. He's a handsome dog that is 4 years old looking for a forever home. If you want to adopt Meatball, don't hesitate to contact the Nevada SPCA. And then we have Marcy, an adorable female cat that is 6-year-old. She is looking for a forever home. If you want to adopt Marcy, don't hesitate, again, to contact the SPCA at 702-873-7722 or email them at info@nevadaspca.org. Do you own a small business in Ward 2 and want to get the word out? Be a part of our free promotional Small Business Saturday program. I will spotlight your company on my social media channels. Contact my office at 702-229-2420 or email us at ward2@lasvegasnevada.gov. Next, our next Ward 2 Breakfast Buzz and Ward 2 Biz will be held June 10th from 9 to 10 at Veterans Memorial Community Center. This is a great time to share what neighborhood issues are essential to you. We highly encourage you to RSVP so we know how much food to order. Again, email or call my office. And then please join us at Veterans Memorial Community Center on June 28th from 6:30 to 8 for our public safety town hall with our new incredible Sheriff McMahill. We're going to be talking about important safety tips, and refreshments will be served. My favorite semi-annual event is right around the corner. That's right, Art in the Park. It will be at Bruce Trent Park on September 30th at 10 a.m. to 4. And the reason I'm advertising it so early is so that all the artists that would like to have a booth will contact our office so that they can be prepared to sell and showcase their art. If you need to contact us for any issues or concerns, please call my office at 702-229-2420 or visit us at Ward 2 at lasvegasnevada.gov. Next slide. You can also follow my social media accounts to stay up to date with information and events that are taking place in Ward 2. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Victoria D. Seaman. You can follow me on LinkedIn at Victoria Seaman. To make it easy, you can just scan our QR code for easy access to all our office information. Finally, I want to congratulate our Golden Knights on winning the first 2 games at home and wish them the best of luck in Florida. Go Knights, go. And I would also like to congratulate our new city manager. And as the mayor says, I hope that he and Dr. Hibbler can work together to continue the great work that we've done here at the city. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Dibs.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Last time we met, we were inviting folks to come out to our pickleball courts ribbon cutting, the first floor in Ward 3, and we had a wonderful time, and the weather gods were on our side because all of a sudden the clouds started to come in and the sun wasn't beating down on us. So I want to give a special shout out to Grant Garcia, who is a partner of Sam Cherry's, and he came out and he brought the group Inspiring Children Foundation to be the ones providing the pickleball clinics. So they did amazing, teaching me, teaching youth, teaching older folks how to play the sport of pickleball. I also want to acknowledge and express my gratitude to the Mexican Consulate of Las Vegas for their participation as one of their events for Binational Sports Week as well. So if you haven't been by Myron E. Levitt on the Atlantic side of the park, that's where these new pickleball courts are, and they turned out amazing. I want to thank Steve Ford and our entire Parks and Rec team for doing an amazing job. That was, I think, done all in-house. On May 20th, we celebrated Tech in the Alley with Josh Levitt. It's the 2nd anniversary of this, and it is a growing phenomenon of so many people coming out that are interested in knowing about our tech startup climate as a city, and what we're looking to do to make sure that technology entrepreneurs and business folks are all kind of colliding in these spaces and learning things that will help them down the road. So I appreciate that it's held in the downtown and that Josh has been leading the helm for that for a bit. On May 30th, Congresswoman Dina Titus presented a check to Workforce Connections. That's one of the boards I sit on. And she was able to allocate $800,000 to help support our efforts in upskilling and retraining folks who need to get back into a decent job or a really good one. And so the gal there that's holding the young child received CNA training through the dollars, the federal dollars that are given to us to make sure that everybody has economic means to sustain their young ones. And so she was saying that the baby's dad is holding the fort down while she was getting her CNA, and she wants to be a nurse next. I was like, wow, how important is that to make sure that, you know, our nursing community is sound? But then her husband, once she's stable in her job, he's going to become an electrician. And so he's going to the trades and also receive support through the WIOA funding or the federal funding that's coming. So this is how we're making a difference one family at a time with these very important boards and work. We were at the ribbon cutting for the Golden Rule Apartments on May 31st. Mayor, everyone at NHSSN sends their regards to you. to, and we were able to take a tour of the site of the 60 new beautiful units that will provide housing with dignity for our seniors. They have a fitness room, a wellness center, a food pantry, gardens, and a dog run. And they decorated the lobby with thousands of paper cranes because it was to remind everyone, while 60 units doesn't give everyone the housing space they need, we hope that eventually we'll get to as many of those numbers as possible. On June 1st, we had a Beverly Green neighborhood meeting at the Mesquite Club, and I want to acknowledge that we had Metro there. We also had the Beverly Green Neighborhood Association running the meeting, and we just had a lovely time talking with the constituents and updating them with everything Public Works in the vicinity, and also hearing their concerns and how we can move the needle for them in a meaningful way. On June 2nd, we did a ribbon cutting at Gary Reese Freedom Park. We gave some much needed love to our skate park there, and all of the skateboarders were really happy. I don't know if you all know, but Steve Glimp knows how to skateboard, so his heart was full that day, and Kevin Korkowski, who's right there in a black t-shirt next to me as we're cutting the ribbon, was super excited and stoked, and you can see all of the youth. And the reason why we had to do it really quick was because they had finished, but they were starting to already jump the fence around the project, and we just wanted to clear the fence and let them have it for the summer. My last few ones have to do with summer splashes. We know that it is the summer months, and our kids are out of school, and we always want to have fun things for them to do. So on Saturday, June 17th, noon to 2, at Carlos Martinez and Dario Hall Family Pool on Pecos and Washington, for those couple of hours, everyone coming through the doors, you have completely free access to our pool. And then on Saturday, June 17th, from 2 to 4, it'll be at Baker Pool at 1020 East St. Louis. So please take advantage of this awesome opportunity, and we'll be providing snacks and music and fun activities for everyone. And last but not least, it is going to be Father's Day coming up soon, and we want our dear old dads, because I am a firm believer that it takes two to raise really amazing kids and individuals, and dads need to be honored and respected and celebrated just as much as moms. So on Sunday, June 18th, noon to 4, at all pools that are listed, Baker Pool, Garside Pool, Pavilion Pool, we're celebrating our dads so they can enjoy the free admission to the recreational swim when accompanied by their child. And there's the information. And that's all I have, Mayor. People know how to get a hold of me. Best way by phone, 702-229-2359, or by email, ward3@lasvegasnevada.gov.
Excellent, thank you. All right, Mayor Pro Tem, you're next.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Today is World Running Day. I love running. I actually learned to run with some of the staff here at City of Las Vegas 15 years ago. Ted Olivas used to take me out as well as Esther Renke, so really grateful to be able to run. And our next Brews with Brian is Thursday, June 22nd from 5:30 to 6:30. It's at the Tavern located at 1113 South Rainbow. Let us know if you're able to make it. It's super fun every time. And you can reach me any way you like. And I did change my picture. Well,
Yes,
I didn't do
you
it. Somebody did it for me.
Excellent.
That's updated.
Cute.
Yeah, they've grown a little bit since then,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's
you got
them.
to keep doing that with little people.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, and Brian's gotten gray.
Don't tell him that.
No, on the picture.
You're not
and
supposed to
now we
notice
go
that.
to inside
He's
Councilman
offended right
Greer.
now,
No,
so.
you tell him. I mean, he'll send arrows to make Councilman Greer.
That is a beautiful picture. I'd like to thank the community for showing up this past Saturday at the historic Westside Legacy Park to celebrate the 2023 inductees. Although it was a really hot day morning, residents endured the weather to see their friends and family receive their honor. I'd like to thank Clark County Commissioner William McCurdy II and our own Congressman Stephen Horsford, for participating. Christy Garnis and staff did an awesome job, as always, making this a very memorable occasion. I'd also like to thank Steve Ford and team in Parks and Rec for getting the flagpole installed in time to raise the Juneteenth flag during the ceremony. Applications for 2024 nominees will be available later in October. And also we had the pleasure and honor of naming the plaza at the park after former city councilman and former county commissioner Dr. Lawrence Weekly. Is now officially the Dr. Lawrence Weekly Plaza at the historic Westside Legacy Park. And he was surprised and very well deserved. We also had a ceremony here at City Hall this past Monday with the Juneteenth Committee, Girl Scouts, and Buffalo Soldiers to raise the Juneteenth flag in front of City Hall. Special thank you to Jasmine Freeman for her assistance in making arrangements for this event to happen. And then the Ernest and Betty Becker Family Technological Center, located at 2221 North Maverick Street, will host a family block party this Saturday, June 10th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Families are welcome to join in the fun to learn technology skills, enjoy live music by a DJ, and many other activities. There will also be complimentary Kona Ice to beat the summer heat. For more information, call 702-229-2200. Join me and the Rainbow Dreams Foundation for the Juneteenth celebration on Saturday, June the 17th from 4 to 9 p.m. at the World Market Expo Center. A free shuttle service from the Doolittle Senior Center located at 1930 North J Street will be provided. We're excited to be at this location for the second year. I'd like to really thank World Market for welcoming Juneteenth back this year to help commemorate this day. For more information about this event and vending opportunities, visit www.june19lv.com. We'll also be with Dee Evans at the West Las Vegas Theater on Lake Mead, starting at 12 o'clock for another Juneteenth event. Please join us for our Ward 5 inaugural youth golf experience this Saturday, June 10th at the Las Vegas Golf Club located at 4300 West Washington Avenue. This event is free and open to the youth, ages 7 to 17 years old. Lessons will be offered from PGA certified instructors and professionals to learn the basic fundamentals of golf. Breakfast and lunch will be served. Space is available. Please contact my office at 702-229-5443 for registration. And we are in partnership with UNLV, PGA School, and the Hospitality College, the Southern Nevada Golf Association, Southern Nevada Junior Golf Association with this. This is going to be great. You can always get a hold of our newsletter. Email Tanya at tjackson@lasvegasnevada.gov. Call the office. You can always find us on social media at Ward 5, on Twitter, Cedric Creer, Councilman Cedric Creer on Instagram, and Facebook, Councilman Cedric Creer. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Councilman. Okay, Councilwoman Polensky down there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Mayor. My team and I took a tour of the Las Vegas City Archives and Records Facility. We found the Ark of the Covenant. No. Pat Cabrera gave us a fascinating journey through all the history and the plans that built the city of Las Vegas. And being a student of history, I especially loved learning about this part of our amazing city. And I found a bobblehead. Next.
One of his 26.
Yeah.
I have one.
I have one too now, Mayor. Yes. Continuing with our tours with facilities, we recently did a tour of all the parks in Ward 4. One park stood out to me as one of our bests, and that's Barkin Basin Dog Park. This amazing dog park has 3 enormous, fully fenced areas for dogs and is generally considered one of the best places in Las Vegas to bring your pooch. Next up, I was fortunate enough to join the mayor and Councilman Creer to speak at the Woodlawn Cemetery Memorial for Memorial Day. It was a warm, sunny day and was a perfect backdrop for remembering and bringing our community together. Next, the Asian American Pacific Islander celebration continues. This group of committed Asian American Las Vegas City employees created an art installation right here at City Hall. It's called 1,000 Cranes. It took hundreds of hours for our group to complete this art installation. It's a wonderful representation of our collective cultures. Please take a moment in our lobby and enjoy their beautiful work. From left to right, yes, they made it all by hand. Alicia Murray, Pat Cabrera, Tia Kawamo, and David Balberti. Next up, we too had a summer pool splash at the Durango Hills YMCA. It was awesome. There were kids, popsicles, DJs, and so much excitement. I love this event, especially the ones for the kids. We'll be hosting another pool party at the end of summer. And finally, I'll be working with Councilman Bruni and hosting the 4th of July event for our city. It'll be taking place at the Floyd Lamb State Park And it's an incredibly exciting time. We'll have a DJ, food trucks, water slides. Bring your kids, bring your family, bring your grandmas and grandpas. It's the best celebration in Las Vegas for the 4th of July, and the only celebration in the Valley where our fireworks are synchronized with music. Please stand by for more exciting updates. This will be its final year at Floydland Park, and we'll get you more information in the future about how 4th of July events will look in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Councilwoman Bruni, she gave you a good entree right there.
Last but not least, thank you, Mayor. I want to start by thanking all who participated in today's meeting with your thoughtful contributions. Thank you also, Councilman Creer, for recognizing the Human Rights Campaign of Nevada this month for Pride Month. The Ward 6 office is proud to embrace diversity and equality for all, and we are happy to celebrate and support the LGBTQIA+ community. Also, I wanted to wish the Mayor Goodman a happy 61st anniversary. As I prepare to celebrate my own 17th anniversary.
How many are you?
17.
Oh, right.
Yes. So I recognize that marriage is both a blessing, but also very difficult. It requires a lot of compromise and patience, but where there is enough love like you and Mayor Oscar have, I believe that amazing things can happen. It was an honor again to celebrate Michelle Hardy Rodriguez Day and proclaim today as Michelle Hardy Rodriguez Day. Again, Michelle is the founder and president of My Scars Are Beautiful, a nonprofit that's focused on uplifting those who've been physically and emotionally scarred from traumatic experiences. Michelle is a licensed realtor who professionally and personally is doing great things for our community. I'm very proud to have her call Ward 6 her home. Next, I wanted to wrap up Small Business Month by celebrating our Ward 6 small businesses with a business breakfast. Councilman Diaz, Josh Levitt was there. He's actually a Ward 6 resident, but he's doing great things in Tech Alley. We are thank you to all of our Ward 6 businesses that were able to stop by. We were joined by our amazing city staff, Anthony Scarpelli and Tammy Christensen, who provided resources about the great city programs to our businesses. We were also joined by Ken Heck from Heck Wealth Management, who provided an economic overview for our small businesses. Next, I was happy last week to visit our Las Vegas, the city's tree farm and seed greenhouse alongside our 2 Ward 6 Parks and Recreation Advisory Commissioners. We were hosted by the city's urban forester, Brad Dassler, and Steve Glimp, who is actually an avid skateboarder, you're right. And they're doing amazing work at our tree farm, which is growing 2,500 drought-resistant trees and plants to put in our parks and other areas in our city. The urban heat island effect is a growing problem, and making sure that we as a city are heat resilient is a priority of mine. So I'm glad to see the city's amazing, innovative work in this space. I also had the chance to tour another farm, the Las Vegas farm. It recently unveiled their makeover thanks to a generous donation of materials and labor by Lowe's and the amazing help of their volunteers. The farm has been around since 1961 and opened to the public since 1968, and it is the only large animal farm sanctuary, large animal farm sanctuary in southern Nevada. Apart from the animals, they have a farmer's market and other local events that everyone can enjoy. If you're a Ward 6 resident or are in the area, give them a visit. They're open every Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 4 and are located at 7222 West Grand Teton Drive. I'm very happy to support the farm and be a part of the farm family. Next. Our focus this month in Ward 6 is traffic safety. While summer is almost upon us and we make plans for summer vacation, and it should be a time to have fun and relax, it's also the deadliest time of the year. The 100 deadliest days is the term given to the 100 days between Memorial Day through Labor Day, so that's why traffic safety is Ward 6 focus of the month. This period represents the highest likelihood of fatal crashes, especially for inexperienced drivers and teens who are more likely to be behind the wheel since they're not behind a desk at school. For parents with teens, please talk to them about safety. Statistically, more teens are involved in accidents in May, June, July during summer vacation. Next, tomorrow's Bocaditos with Bruni is happening a little later than our usual start time. We'll be there from 10:30 to noon, but again, we're happy to talk to our neighbors and receive you and share our delicious snacks with you. Next, this Saturday, the City of Las Vegas and the Nevada Department of Wildlife are teaming up to host a free fishing derby day at Floyd Lamb Park. It's an annual event. Youth ages 4 to 17 are invited to participate in the free fishing derby to catch fish and have a chance to win trophies and other raffle prizes, but everyone is invited to enjoy free fishing for the day. You can bring your own fishing tackle or borrow some of the Department of Wildlife staff's supplies while they last.
And Councilwoman, is this catch and release or catch and keep and cook and eat?
I believe it's catch and keep. Yeah, but I will get clarification. Excellent question.
I think that's very important that we find out so the public knows. It's one thing to be able to eat the delicious whatever it is, but it's another thing if we're trying to build the fish pond out.
Well, I believe they stocked it a couple of weeks ago for the purpose of the event, and I believe my understanding is that it is catch and take home.
Mayor, that's correct. You can take it home, but we do restock it a couple of times a year.
Okay, thank you.
Very good question. We will be joined by our local Boy Scouts troop that will have pancakes, coffee, and juice available for purchase. Again, there's no fishing license required for this day only, so please take advantage. Now, if you're not a fan of fish but would still like to join us at Floyd Lamb Park, we'll be having a park cleanup to celebrate Volunteer Appreciation Day. Get Outdoors Nevada will be there from 8 to 11 to help us beautify Floyd Lamb Park, and we'll provide all the tools and supplies for cleaning, and we'll get it cleaned up in preparation for our July 4th event. If you'd like to volunteer for the cleanup, please register with the following QR code or visit getoutdoorsnevada.org for more information. Next, it's been an exciting 6 months being sworn into the best job in the world next to your job, Mayor. So we will be holding a town hall on June 22nd, reviewing our first 150 days. We'll be sharing with our residents what we've been working on and also have members of our city departments to share the exciting projects that are going on in Ward 6, like our regional sports park. So please join us at Sky Canyon Center June 22nd from 5:30 to 7:30. Refreshments will be served. Next, Councilman Francis Allen Polinsky has already reviewed the 4th of July event, so we can move on. Again, we're always happy to hear from you. Here are the many ways you can stay in touch with us. Please call our office at 229-5463 or email ward6@lasvegasnevada.gov. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Well, it's been a very fulfilling day, a very exciting one, and you can see how our council does its best to be open, honest, transparent, and to answer the needs of the city, but be its caretaker and make sure the future is as bright as the growing past has been. And we can't do it without our marshals and our law enforcement and safety, fire and rescue, first responders first. So thank you very, very much. We thank our IT department, who today may be a little questioned, but I'm sure our city clerk will take care of that. Thank God for humanity, and we can keep things rolling. We thank our public information office for keeping us all informed and up to date. And beyond everything, we thank our wonderful city manager, your team. It has been just a wonderful time. We have a lot to do in the coming months, all of us, and just wish everything that our city clerk's office is trying to keep us informed and doing well. And our legal, what do we do? Law first. Everyone sitting up here knows you go nowhere if you don't check with legal first. So very important, and thank you for sitting there always, that you come up and help us at our meetings. Most appreciated. So for everyone, have a good week. There are tons of things going on this weekend. I heard First Friday was fabulous. I happen to have been out of town, but I heard it was great. So be safe, be careful, keep an eye on your children. They're your responsibility until they're on their own. And they are yours, and they need parenting desperately in this free time of the summer. So our best. Thank you all. Thank you, public. Everybody, this meeting is now adjourned. Our next one's 21st, and look at my sign sitting up there. Is it this monitor or this one?
Do you have a challenge
Yeah.
with the mayor?
I got my hat from Dallas, got my mayor's hat already.